that are taking place. Some Palestinians are being charged up to $2,000.
I'm not going to South Africa for the G20 because I think their policies on the extermination of people are unacceptable. So I'm not going. So I won't refer to anything having to do with South Africa. South Africa has behaved extremely badly. But
to pursue the agenda of white supremacy.
You think Trump is pursuing a white supremacist agenda?
Yes, I think so.
Sunrise over D.C., coffee in my hand. Saw the headlines from a faraway land, South Africa's politicos
running their mouth again about America and me. Where does it all end? They're about a whole year of the same old tune,
name calling in tall tales beneath the African moon. Oh, it's more trash in the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth. Where do I begin?
They talk about freedom and justice for all, while their own people are answering a different call.
Farmers on their homesteads,
living in fear and dread.
Minority voices silence words left unsaid.
Promises like tumbleweeds blowing in the breeze, while their leaders keep on preaching,
bringing us to our knees. Oh, it's more trash in the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
I tried to stay quiet,
let it roll right on by,
but a man can only take so much beneath God's sky. That's the honest truth.
When you see folks suffering, it just ain't right.
Gonna set the record straight. In the USA, I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, more trash in the USA,
but the truth will find its way.
Pretoria, listen up to what I gotta say. God bless America, come what may.
Come what may. die skuld geneem het. Arme ou Jan met sy Nederlandse oosvloot, Westig winkel op 'n straat in Kaapstad. Die ANC het 'n gunsteling reël gehad, as dinge verkeerd loop is dit 'n Jan gemaakte ontwerp. Van die moenie trek door die wennersparade, elke enkele skuld was 'n prys wat Jan betaal het. Voorkoor. O, die geskiedenisboeke kry rus. Ons het 'n nuwe ou gevind om op die proef te stel. Sit die portret weg. Bære die ou veerpin. Daar is 'n splinternuwe skat vir die politieke wetsontwerp. Koor, ons verruil die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Dis die blinknuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die dom is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons verruil vandag die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Die infrastruktuur verkrummel, die krane loop leeg. Maar moenie vra hoe en moenie vra hoekom nie. Vergeet die jare van dieselfde ou groep. Die oranje man en Daisy kom vir jou. Ongelykheid styg, dis 'n Mar-a-Lago komplot. Hy is so gemeen en boos, glo dit of nie. Die oorspronklike gangster is uit-ideer, want Jan van Riebeeck is nie meer moordnieuws nie. Brug is die nuwe sondebok. Die vars allebei. Wanneer die beloftes in 'n leuen verander, koers sluit aan. Amerika is gemeen, die wêreld is so koud. Dis die beste storie wat nog ooit vertel is. Kry jou kaart, speel jou deel, gitaar, sing dit is solo. Ons ruil die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Dis die blindnuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die dom is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons ruil vandag die Jankaart vir 'n Trumpkaart. Ons ruil die Jankaart, tot ziens Jan.
Sien jou later,
Hallo Don,
jy's die heiter.
dis nou alles sy skuld, elke liewe bietjie daarvan. Kyk na die kaart, baba.
Laaste vonkel in die sentklokkie.
Ah, yes, folks, 373 years after Jan van Riebeeck's arrival in the Cape of Good Hope, finally we're trading in our racist Jan van Riebeeck card for the Trump card. Yep, Jan is off the hook. It's all Donald Trump's fault. The failures of the African National Congress, 34 million South Africans who are black living in abject poverty is all the fault of Donald Trump for non-existent sanctions, of course, just like Zimbabwe. And of course, Donald Trump is responsible for the endless numbers of murders, the 45,000 murders per 100,000 population in South Africa, 27,000 people murdered per year. Donald Trump is responsible for the 145 racist laws that discriminate against South Africans who are white, Indian, and colored. Donald Trump was responsible for the blue light brigades, for the collapse of the smelters, for the collapse of the railroads, for the collapse of the roads, for the potholes. It's all Donald Trump's fault. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. But the good news is Jan van Riebeeck is off the hook. He's off the hook, folks. He's off the hook. He's no longer to blame. We've forgotten about Yan and a little bit about apartheid. It's all Donald Trump's fault. The orange man bad. There you go. You like that new song, Carl? It is a banger, isn't it? That one is pretty good. I made a whimsical song, and that came out whimsical all right. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Yes, welcome back. Time for a sound check. Folks, yes, but not all as well. Not all as well, folks. Things get a little bit hairy and crazy here on this side of the Atlantic. The Trumpster is getting oil and talking about a military takeover of Greenland. Can that be true? That's pretty frightening to talk about. If the Democrats hadn't wasted so much time pissing Trump off, maybe he would focus on something else. Trump says Venezuela will give up to 50 million barrels of oil. Is that a one-off? Is that over a period of time per year? I'm not sure. President Trump said interim authorities in Venezuela will turn over between 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. Oil will be sold at market price. The money will be controlled by me to ensure it's used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States. Crude oil futures dropped 1.3% to just $56 a barrel, lowering the cost of energy and improving the quality of life for billions of people on this planet. Wall Street Journal reported Trump plans to meet with representatives from Chevron, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, and other domestic oil producers at the White House on Friday to discuss significant investments in Venezuela's oil sector. Wow. In a Truth social media post, said the oil will be sold at market prices. Be taken by storage ships and brought directly to unloading docks in the United States. High quality and sanctioned. Well, that's untrue. What high quality oil comes out of Venezuela? None that I know. 3 days after U.S. forces captured Maduro, the temporary government of Venezuela is acquiescing. Chevron currently operates in Venezuela, the only U.S. company to do so. The assets of ConocoPhillips and Exxon were nationalized by Venezuela's then President Hugo Chavez in the mid-2000s. Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, are in Manhattan, where they pled not guilty on Monday. Trump card over the Yan card. Yep. I'm glad you guys like it. Venezuela to export $2 billion worth of oil to the U.S. in a deal. Caracas and Washington have reached a deal to export up to $2 billion worth of Venezuelan crude to the United States. Strong sign of the Venezuelan government's responding to Trump's demand that they open up U.S. oil companies or risk military intervention. Venezuela has millions of barrels of oil loaded on tankers and in storage tanks that has been unable to ship due to the blockade on exports imposed by Trump since mid-December. Supplying the tapped crude oil to the U.S. could initially require reallocating cargoes originally bound for China. So that's 2 million barrels of oil that won't go to China. Or 50 million, whatever it is. Wow. Wow. U.S. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said Tuesday that increased flow of Venezuelan heavy crude to the U.S. Gulf states will be great news for job security, future gasoline prices, and for Venezuela. There you go. U.S. refiners on the Gulf Coast can process Venezuela's heavy crude grades, and we're importing some 500,000 barrels a day before Washington first imposed sanctions on Venezuela. There you go. Whatever the agreements China, Russia, Cuba, and Iran had with Venezuela will now be null and void. Good luck renegotiating with the U.S. Exactly. Future looks bright. And that's where the good news is in all this. All right. Song is way cool. Okay. Good morning, On the Move. That always breaks my brain why people vote for dictators, communists, and socialists. With capitalism, people flourish more. They do indeed. They do indeed. United Nations Security Council members took the United States to task yesterday at the Security Council, criticizing the operation. Slammed recent comments signaling possibly expanding military action to other South American countries, including Mexico and Colombia. French President Emmanuel Macron had earlier been generally positive about Maduro's capture. France's envoy said on Monday that any violation of national law by the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, including the U.S., erode the very foundation of the international order. The military operation that has led to the capture of Maduro runs counter to the principle of peace dispute resolution, runs counter to the principle of non-use of force, said J. Darmakari. What the hell is that? That's not French. Deputy French Ambassador to the UN. What the hell is that? That's freaking not French. That looks like something out of freaking Southeast Asia. Yeah, France is going to preach to us. You know, remember Dien Bien Phu and France's colonies in Africa, Algeria, the horrible civil war, what they did to Algerians. They're going to preach to us. They deign to preach to us after screwing up the planet. impoverishing West Africans with the Central African franc for decades, retaining 25% of the hard currency reserves of the members of the West African franc in French banks, holding their money hostage. They're going to preach to us. They can shove it up your rectum there, France. Bunch of idiots. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz defended the operation as a justified and surgical law enforcement operation, calling out a 15-member council for criticizing the targeting of Maduro, widely considered a dictator in the Western Hemisphere. If the United Nations in this body confers legitimacy on an illegitimate narco-terrorist with the same treatment in this charter of a democratically elected president or head of state, what kind of organization is this? Waltz stressed that Maduro across Europe and North America was not considered to be a legitimate democratically elected president, citing irregularities of Venezuela's 2024 presidential election, which many countries and the EU viewed as rigged. Yep. And Antonio Gutierrez complained about the United States. Well, go away, gas bag, we don't care. Exactly, nothing more than strongly worded criticism. Nothing they can do. It's a fait accompli. Oh, boy. Well, here's the thing. It's a little bit disturbing, a little bit concerning, and that is that Trump is talking about potentially the use of military force to acquire Greenland. That's not good news. U.S. President Donald Trump has been discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland, including the use of military. The White House told the BBC that acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous region of fellow NATO member Denmark, was a national security priority. The statement came hours after European leaders issued a joint statement rallying behind Denmark, which has been pushing back against Trump's ambitions for an Arctic island. Not good. All right, I want to take a break from this news here and chat and say hello to everybody in the chat. It's night owls after all, work people. Christoph Seal, Ulrich Fenter, Nicola Zinpombolito, Pat Meister, Angelique, Karen Graham, Vela, Nicola, Natasha, I already said Nicola, Charlocker, gee, that's a hard one, Charlocker. Alex, 4466. And Marencia Quinn. By the way, did I ever get a response back on that? Let me see something very quickly. Did I write to this person earlier? Oh, no, I didn't because... Okay, hang on a second. Oh, that's why. Let me see. I was waiting for it to show up in here. Sorry, folks. All right, that's been sent. I took care of that now before I forget. Tomorrow's a busy day. If I don't do that now, forget it. Tomorrow morning, first out of the gate programming announcement, Dr. Corney Mulder, leader of the Freedom Front Plus, will be on the program. After Dr. Mulder, it will be my news program. After that, I'm on Wednesdays with the Colonel with Ronaldo, assuming he's not out playing cricket. And then I'm off for a medical procedure for my hip, and then it's a radio program in the evening. So quite a busy day coming up tomorrow. Petrus van der Linde, Art Queen, Mr. Echo, Emerencia Quinn, AJ Quinn, Heinrich Geneda, Sally Utopie. Hey, good to see some faces we know here. Again, Biscuit Bum, Tailfinder. That's interesting. Has double meat, even though it's spelled that way. Peter Talliard, welcome to you. Phoenix. Fonz A. Shelley Pollock is back. Proudly Burmeisi. Ooh, we like that username. And Momo's back. Good to see you, Momo. Sally, Leona Watley, Anarchy, Jack Up, Mental Chewing Gum, Sven Stalbard, Carl van Heerden, Ali Dane, welcome to you. And On the Move, Future Looks Bright, 2026. Chesigi, hope you're doing well tonight. Maze here, I didn't see Maze. Hopefully she's doing okay. What is it, Tiki Taki that jumped up on me there? Leslie Wilson, light rain in from the state of Washington. Bolton Walrus and the previous MI6 said it was not an act of war and they don't usually agree with Trump. No, they don't agree with Trump. That's good. I didn't know that. Jacobus Olaf, welcome to you. Monterey Sieberts, hey, from Cape Town. When CT like that means Connecticut, man. You're confusing me, Monterey. I thought we were in Connecticut all of a sudden. Flying Eagle 2, good to hear you on Caravan at Midnight. Thank you. Welcome, Flying Eagle 2. Good to see you here. Bloodkop, Garrett Gillich, Alte Knaba, Rohan, how's it going? There's one of our refugees. Howdy from PN W of USA. Pacific Northwest, I assume that means Flying Eagle 2. If taking Greenland by force on the option, then what's the issue? NATO and Denmark committed to improving the state of security. Trump not happy with their commitment. Nope, Trump is not happy with their commitment. He's not. They've been sitting on their ass for too many years. It was an internal coup. The Venezuelan regime gave up Maduro for a huge amount of foreign aid from the USA. Well, that's one way to look at it, Roberto. One way to look at it. Dedication for being at your microphone every night is inspiration. Well, it's every night, every day, all the time. Everywhere I go, I've got my tripod, I've got my little mounted one I can put on, and I have a phone, and I have my microphones. And speaking of which, I haven't put this all back together yet since Sunday, so let me do that now. So this is my little, of course, it's all Chinese these days. So this is my little packet that comes. It's a rechargeable USB Chinese microphone. It comes with a case. This is the transceiver that goes into the USB-C connection on my phone. This is where it all mounts. So we put this in there, and it will be recharged. That goes in there. It was a magnet, actually. It holds in place, so it slides in. So see, it doesn't fall out. Isn't that clever? Even the Chinese can develop some really cool, smart things. Then the microphone. This, of course, keeps the wind noise down. That's a wind buffer, so let's take that off. It slips on. It's got a little thing. Here's the actual microphone itself, that right there. And it's got a little light on it, and there's the actual speaker portion. So this has a magnet. These magnets are removable. See, it comes off there. It goes right back on. That's a clip, so you can clip it onto the person's clothing. So that's what we got there. Okay. All right, so now I put this back in here, and I've got to put it in just right. It fits only one way, so you can't screw it up. It goes in. The light comes on the front, telling me that it's recharging. See, it's recharging there. And then if you look up here, you can see the green light on, showing you that it's recharging. Okay, that's that one. Then light goes out to save energy. Then here's the other one. So on this one here, we've got that one. We take it apart as well. Okay, and then we take the windscreen off there, the other microphone, and that puppy goes into here like this. And the light comes on there. So now you see both lights are on, both are charging. This is just a dead spot, there's nothing there. Close it, 83% charge. Then I can put this bad boy onto my cord and charge that device. You plug it in the bottom there, and it will charge up. There we go. It's at 83% and charging right now. So there you go. So that will charge now. I'll let that charge up. And so this little pouch comes with all that. Plus it comes with this lanyard. So you get one lanyard that comes with it. So if you're by yourself, you can put this on. And this is magnetic down here too. So the magnets go on there. They clip on. And you can take the magnet and just put the microphone. You don't have to clip it to that if you don't want to. And there you go. So pretty cool, huh? Some cool stuff. That's one of the best investments I've ever made, along with that tripod. Although the original tripod, the leg broke because I was too harsh with it and rushed somewhere. I had to order a new one, and it wasn't quite the same quality, but still pretty good. Right, so that's that. There you go. What do you think of that, guys? Okay. Trump often bombastic statements while he's negotiating the classic Trump. He will shout fiery rhetoric and threats, and then he'll be meeting them halfway. Exactly. Exactly, and it's worked. We want audio recording the needle going in. No, you don't. As soon as you're having Colonel help, my husband's back. It takes a while to kick in, though. He doesn't want surgery either. Yep. Shelley, I'm glad you're recovering. Wishing you all the best for your procedure tomorrow. Thank you, Karen. And Tyra Brits, welcome to you. Vulcan Minerals, a rare earth play. Good luck with the procedure. Thank you. Really cool tech. Cool gadgets. Yeah, it's pretty nifty tech. And we get much better phone quality with that. So, like, let me see if I've got anything recorded on here. I think I deleted most of them. So, hang on a second here. Camera. Oh, here we go.
It's awesome.
All right, so let me check my mic. If you clip yours on, okay, so give me a count 5 downward.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, 5, 4, 3. See that? Now we were like 4 meters apart, and we were broadcasting on that. That was pretty cool in Gettysburg. So good stuff there. That's what it does. Ooh, I got to charge my phone. What's more important than this? My phone's at 20%. I don't need to die while I'm sleeping tonight. I can't have the battery go flat. So let me charge my phone. Yeah, it's really nifty tech. Cool stuff that you can get out there. Life is great in the 21st century. Okay, so we've got 189 people here right now. I'm going to back off the news, like I said, for a little bit here. I want to talk about something. Look, this is not out of fear. This is just, to let you guys know about, okay? There's several people who are glomming onto my content, stealing my content. This person isn't necessarily stealing my content, but this person is maliciously attacking me, committing criminal injuria, has committed slander, and is a person that is annoying, but I've not paid much attention. But there are apparently enough stupid people in South Africa that this person now has a few thousand subscribers, and at this point it becomes an issue to point out. So one of my viewers showed me clips of where she rattles and prattles on and off her cons. So let's see if I can find it. Now, apparently this person's name is Deborah de Richter. Yeah. She's been making videos of me, and one of my viewers said it's very, very concerning. And she openly threatened me. In fact, she did. And with racist rhetoric, she threatened me. She claims to be some kind of expert knowing how the CIA works. How does this person who has serious issues, personal issues, how does she know anything about the Central Intelligence Agency? She decides openly on her channel to expose me as a CIA agent according to her own mentality. I don't know how she comes up with that conclusion. That's simply slander, and it's actionable. And I've talked about this before. And I know some of you Ferrayas are in the chat right now. That's who this message is for, the Ferrayas. I've seen some of your comments on her channel, yeah, and the things you say. So you can take that back to your demonic mentor there. She says, what does she say here? Yeah, exactly. If I actually worked for the CIA and she exposed me to the CIA, don't you think that would be kind of stupid? Don't you think that would be kind of stupid? Don't you think the CIA would want to come after you? Yeah. Yeah. Now, the threat she made at the end of the video said that when I'm traveling to South Africa, this is where the racist comment came in. And, this is, the government of South Africa won't do anything about this because it's a racist comment directed at a white person. But if I was black and she said something like this, we could probably get the South African Captured Human Rights Commission to actually take action against her. But she said that me as a white man, I'll find myself in a prison cell with 10 black inmates. Yeah, that's a very racist sentiment. You know what the intent behind that statement is. So her attempt is to gain attention by trying to threaten me. No, the one with the weird face filters is someone else. Exactly. All these years working for the CIA and they won't give me a robotic hip. All these years working for the CIA and I've got to figure out how to pay for the surgery. Yeah. Oh, you watch the same movies she watches. Oh, you're welcome to share my videos and live stream work, people. Of course, why not? Just don't get yourself in trouble with Facebook by sharing it too many times. Yeah, just you're welcome to share it. Feel free to share my content. If you're sharing the links, share the links anytime. I love to get viewers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the woman is a nutcase, but she presents a danger, and her threats are criminal acts. Is Carlos here this morning? I'm seeing Carlos. Exactly, future looks bright. You only need to convince one person. Look what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden said we have to take out Donald Trump. Remember that? He threatened Donald Trump's life. No consequences for it. He was a sitting president. He threatened to murder his political opponent. Nothing come of it. But of course, then we have some idiot jump on a roof because the CIA or the Secret Service was undermanned intentionally, while 4 times as many Secret Service agents were guarding Dr. Jill Biden, a doctor of education, not a real doctor, in Pittsburgh, just an hour away. There were just a handful of Secret Service agents defending the president, leaving key points and high elevation points, overlook points undefended, and leaving this guy to walk around for an hour, scouting out the site with no action taken by local law enforcement or the Secret Service, and then shooting the president in the head. It only takes one wackadoodle. Yep. Yeah, Momo, she's a wackadoodle. I've been ignoring it for some time here, but now that she's made a threat, she's put herself into a box for criminal prosecution. Yep. Yeah, Amy Beale. Yep, Amy Beale's mother. Piece of work, yeah. We forgive the murderers who bludgeoned our daughter to death as she died in horrific circumstances, being bludgeoned with stones by racists because she was white and had blue eyes. Yep. Yeah, the secret base in Botswana, exactly. All the nonsense. These people, they have nothing. They're just idiots. And that's the hazards of social media. Yep. Profit? No, she's not a prophet. She's seeking to profit from attention. She's an attention seeker. It's amazing how many stupid people there are in the world, here in America and in South Africa. Actually, listen to idiots like that. They come and go. Remember Scotty Balsam? Remember him? Scotty Balsam? Yep. They come and go. Now, that guy lied. We have the proof! We have the proof! What a moron. Yeah, anyway, some people are absolutely ridiculous. She's definitely a flat earther. And, yes. What did somebody say Odez was calling for? Somebody said something about Odez. Said he was I forget what they said. They said about him the other day. So anyway. Preying on the uneducated and the stupid, yeah. But it's the stupid people who do stupid things, yep. But I mean, what a racist comment. Yeah, that I'll find myself in a cell with 10 black inmates. You know what that implies. Yeah, well, what a dumb individual. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with my nighttime audience. They live wrapped in their own fantasies. They're not experienced, yep. Yeah, the letter from the 44 Ferrayas is a good example. Yeah, just as crazy, Phoenix, yep. Yeah, calling yourself a prophet doesn't make you a prophet. No, I'm sorry, Macedonia 271. I hate to break it to you, but the earth is not flat. Now, some people's heads are flat, but the earth is not flat. Exactly. So many experts on YouTube. And that's why the likes of Rebecca Davies at the Daily Maverick get away with things like calling me a YouTuber. Dismissing the fact that I'm a university professor, a published author, a polyglot, intelligence analyst, decorated combat veteran. She dismisses all that because she can get away with it, because YouTube and the stench of YouTube, social media. What are social media? And people who've never done anything in their lives except, stand out there with their little C cups and their 22-inch waist and their large bums and shorty shorts on the beach in Florida going, "Hi, what do you think of Donald Trump?" And they get 10 million views. They think that makes them experts in something. And so they don't mind being called YouTube influencers. And, it's fine if you want to call me that, but tell the whole story. Don't just tell part of it. Yep. Yes. Just air or poop gases. Yeah, you're right about that, Sandra. Anyway, so, yeah, that woman, and so that's the latest one. We've had the spill the tea. We've had her. We've had Scott Balson. We've had the black guy, I can't remember his name, all desperately seeking attention by stealing my content, lying about me, and putting all that crap out there. And that's why people just ignore it. Well, I do ignore most of it, and I ignore it for a long time, but you have to correct the record on some of this so that there's actually a record out there of the truth. Blasphemy. No sane person can watch more than 5 minutes. Yeah. Social media always allows everyone to be an expert. If the price is we have to pay having to swim in an ocean of idiots. Yeah, you're right about that. Future looks bright. It's always the ones that have never achieved anything in life. They're busy talking nonsense about others. Indeed, it is. It is. It is. You notice that these people are not topics of my subjects of my conversation, except here on Night Owls, because I'm just refuting the garbage they came up with. But I don't go out looking for their content. In fact, when people ask me, come on my channel, ask me for opinions about other content creators, if I don't have anything positive to say, I largely don't say anything normally, unless they've attacked me. Yep. This elbow hurts too. I'm so sorry to break that to you, Macedonia. The earth is not flat. So the following message is pre-recorded and brought to you by the President of the Republic of South Africa. On behalf of the presidential spokesman, Vincent Magwenyu, I now bring you the exalted, dear leader of South Africa, speaking about the United States' unlawful action in Venezuela. And here we have it, our Cyril. Let's hear what our Cyril has to say.
Well, I think everybody now in the world agrees that what has happened is a violation of international law and also a violation of the United Nations Charter. And that is why we called for the Security Council to meet to discuss this matter. And they are the one body that is mandated by the entire world to deal with issues of peace, to deal with issues of security, and we are hoping that the collective wisdom that resides in the Security Council and in the UN body as a whole will bring forward solutions and bring to bear some good sense that should prevail. Because what has happened now basically is giving carte blanche to anyone to mount an invasion on any country. And clearly that cannot be something that we are all pleased with. But the Security Council, as well as the United Nations, must deal with the matter. So they are best placed to address this matter.
Mr. President.
Yeah, no, I saw that. So somebody sent me a video. Let's see if I can find that video. Did I download the video about South Africa's military? Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's South Africa's military in the DRC before they surrendered to the M23 rebels. This is the SANDF that's going to mobilize against the United States.
That you can fly the wind, you can play with it. So, sir, I got jam jacket there. But still,
Only one material white flag. Ba utlwile Bafana ba patla moswi.
There's the vaunted South African National Defense Force surrendering to M23 rebels in the Congo. Oh my gosh. Definitely not the Sandef. Definitely not the Sandef. I'll tell you that. Definitely not the Sandef. Oh my goodness. By comparison to what the SADF used to be. Wow. White flag issued kit. Yep. So there you have it. Compare that with what we once saw. Compare that with this. Va is I know. Va is I know. I risk a copyright claim on that, but it was worth playing. Used to be I could play it and share the revenue, but then they changed it. Someone else acquired the digital rights to it. So, yeah. Die Kaplan. Book from Black. His best effort. Tijd om te trek is also a good one. I love it. Tijd om te trek. My husband and I were pen pals when he was in Angola. Met and got married in 89. All the stories he told. Yeah. Wow. Reki and Youngren was also intelligence. You're welcome. There's a song to join with. Hey, Ronell, yeah. Yeah, I used to get emotional playing that. It was an incredible experience, wasn't it, Stefan? Yep. Yep. Both the brothers served in the 80s. Remember well the stress and pride when they were deployed. That's a beautiful troop of soldiers that gave it their all. Memory tainted by the ANC. And we go from that to what I showed you moments ago. This is the military that Fikile wants to threaten us with. Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Rama and his entourage are all clearly auditioning for fame because talent brains didn't make the cut. Yet being loud, controversial, and narcissistic seems to be their only career path. Indeed. And foolish mistakes. The same thing with the content creators trying to steal other people's content. Mandy, I think, yeah, no, I'm a little choked up. That song always gets me. Tijd om te trek also gets me, but I'm not going to play that tonight. Tijd om te trek from Book from Black. Tried to get him as a guest many, many times, but he's with an agent, and the agents don't like people to come on controversy. I'm actually a bit surprised I'm having Dr. Corney Mulder on the program in the morning to talk about the Freedom Front Plus's response and the government's response to the raid on Venezuela, but he's willing to come on. So I asked him and I also asked him if it was okay if I used that. They have nothing to gain by it. It's absolutely stupid, Brett. Hey, Brett, where the hell have you been, man? Good to see you, Brett. You must be working weird hours. I haven't seen in ages. Yeah, Delegate is good, but the videos aren't as good. That is the most powerful video. That whoever put those videos together from the archives before they were destroyed by the ANC and the government or burned down by the EFF was brilliant. Silver Falca pilot, and then a pilot from Becky. Wow, song makes me miss my dad. Yeah, it's a great song, Hisigi. Yep, I listen to a lot. It also helped me learn a lot off Afrikaans, although I have to admit the pronunciation is rough. They're doing it because they can. Yeah. Maduro was a leftist fascist. He wasn't even democratic, only legitimately elected once. Yep, and it stole 2 elections, Brett. That's correct. Brett, you've been missing. We've been missing you, man. Where have you been? So good to see you back. All right. Someone tried to call me while I'm in the middle of my broadcast. Okay, so, yeah, hang on a second here. Let me get the link so if the guy wants to join, he can do it. Anyway, yeah, so been working quietly, double shift. I don't doubt it. Good to see you back, Brett. Okay, Rudolph Skeppers, hello to you. What time will Corny Mulder be on? It'll be at 4:30 your time, South Africa. 9:30 in the morning for me. Yeah, so what I want to show you, this is the, I gotta, hang on a second. I gotta open a new window. I was transferring data from backup drives to a hard drive, so I'm trying to, okay, come on. So I want to show you, this is the banner, thumbnail I made for the broadcast. And I sent this to him and asked if it was okay with him. I didn't want him, I don't want to do anything controversial, harm the brand. So here you go. So that's the banner I made for it. Initially, I asked with the artificial intelligence generator, I said, give me a landscape image of U.S. Special Forces landing in U.S. military helicopters, military helicopters firing at the port in Venezuela. And then it came back and said, we can't show military action. And I said, well, show me Black Hawk helicopters flying over Caracas during the raid on Venezuela. We can't show military raids. So then I simply said, show me U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters flying over Caracas at night. And this is what I got. All right, Garrett, thanks for showing that. People are threatening me for a couple of reasons. There's a couple of reasons why they threaten me, but the ones who threaten me openly are the ones who are dangerous because they're easily dealt with by law enforcement and by dismissing because they're cowards. No, the people who threaten me quietly, they threaten me for two reasons. Number one, those doing it on social media do it for attention and clicks because they have nothing to offer. They're just liars, verraaiers, leugners, and betrayers. Yeah, leugners and betrügners and verraaiers. So that's why they do it. The others who do it do so because I'm over the target. Yeah, all I do is tell the truth. There's nothing I've ever said. I've never harmed anybody. I've helped so many people. There's just evil people. The world's full of evil people. And the more successful you are, the more evil people that come up. That's the bottom line. No, it's not just TDS, Willem. It's also WDS, Wyatt Derangement Syndrome. Yep, they've got WDS as well. It's like WD-40, but it doesn't grease their joints up. Talking about Monday about how our forces looked in the 70s. I can remember how the Air Force used to fly by and how the cups used to rattle. Yep. Yeah, it's Wyatt Derangements. Hey, Cara, what's going on? Oh, Carol. Thoughts on John Adams. I thought he was a good but underrated founding father. I'm not a huge fan of John Adams. He's all right. Or John Quincy Adams. Not really. They're all right. Yes, their integrity is around. It is green. He's a goat. It very is. Oh, reminds me of Green Leader. Lusaka Tower, this is Green Leader. This is the Rhodesian Air Force. We are bombing terrorists. Do not rise and engage us. We will shoot you down. We have no intent. We have no quarrel with Zambia. However, we're going after the terrorist. Jealousy, it does make people nasty. Yep. Yeah, we've resolved with all the progressive forces in our country, mobilized against American imperialist aggression, including against our own country. Fikina Mabulo. Yeah. Fikele is definitely that. Yeah, you speak better Afrikaans than Julia's version of English. That might be true, Marley. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, that's what you need to watch for. And in fact, Canada's already done it. Canada's already issued. So let's just go over that. So what has the U.S. done to South Africa that's so evil? The aggressive stances. Remember all those news stories in Cockprot 24, the toilet paper wrecker, the Daily Shipper, throughout the year? All of them said, America's aggressive. It attacks. Trump has been going after South Africa. That's all lies. What is that? The only thing America did was Trump suspended aid. Why did he suspend aid? Because South Africa abrogated the rule of law. They violated the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They abrogated their own constitution, and they're a rogue state by abrogating private property rights. So we're not going to give money to people who oppress their people openly in violation of their own law. We're not going to do that. So we stopped giving you money. That's not aggressive. That's simply prudent. Why in the world should we give fascist regimes money so they can survive, or give it to the country so the government doesn't have to provide those services and they can waste the money and steal the money out the back door? So that's all we did. That's not aggressive. The next thing the United States did, we PNG'd Ibrahim Rasool for racist comments. I mean, the guy is an accredited ambassador sitting in Washington, D.C., and he calls America a racist country and says Donald Trump is leader of a global white supremacy movement. I mean, so we should tolerate that kind of ignorance and arrogance in our midst, said in a public forum. So he was correctly sent home. He went beyond the bounds of diplomacy. He's not a YouTube comment creator. He's not a host on MSNBC or on CNN. You know, if that was his role, then he could say those things. But as a sitting ambassador, a credit to Washington, you openly insult your host in that way. That is beyond beyond the pale. So he was sent home. That's not aggressive. The aggressive action was by the racist comments that Ibrahim Rasool delivered against America. That's the aggressive part. So what came next? What did we do next? We said we're not going to come to G20. Why aren't we coming to G20? Because throughout the entire year that South Africa was president of G20, they doxed our officials, publicly disclosing names of officials in the media, telling people who they were so they could be harassed while they're in South Africa. And every time the United States, Argentina, and any other person raised an issue in one of the working groups throughout the year, including the Sherpas, the South African government used their position as president to shut down the discussion. This isn't about discussion. We're in charge now. This is how it's going to be. And see, this is what the media don't tell you. This was going on all year long. I mentioned a couple of times when I found out about it, but the media completely ignored it. They didn't investigate. They're on the ground. They're right there. They could have talked to the people. They could have talked to the Sherpas. They could have talked, but no, they just talk to the talking heads who tell them what they want to hear so they can print their narrative. So because of that, we're not going to go. Why go? What's the point of going? And then, where's the aggression? South Africa plays the victim. Oh, the United States insulted us by sending a junior official. A junior official. The man has more diplomatic experience as a diplomat than any you morons have in the South African government. And that says something because you all been suckling off the teeth since 1994, 1998. None of you had a freaking job. Listen to Gwede Mantashe. I didn't wait for the government to give me a job. Yeah, because they gave you a job in 1998. Sucking off the teat. Unbelievable. Openly mocking the president. Who's aggressive here? South Africa's aggressive. Openly going to the ICJ when a case doesn't exist. They know it isn't a genocide case. They didn't join Myanmar or the Gambia over the Myanmar case. If they really cared about genocide, they would have joined the Gambia in a novel approach to the ICJ a few years ago when they were the first country ever to take a country to the court with standing to fight against genocide. Yeah. And there's hundreds of thousands of Rohingya now living in neighboring Bangladesh. Because they fled Thailand. Or they fled Myanmar. Unbelievable. Who's the aggressive one here? The first arguably action, and it's a reaction, it's a consequence of how South Africa behaved. But the first action that ever took place the U.S. did against South Africa was when they said you can't come to G20 in the U.S. That's it. That's the first thing, only thing we've done. Oh, the tariffs. Oh, that's bullshit. Everybody got tariffs. 90 countries got tariffs. Well, Dardy, I don't blame you for being concerned about your safety in South Africa. Yeah, the embassy ought to be issuing alerts and warnings. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Yep, future looks bright. The U.S. wants to build legitimate legal reason to take action against the leaders of South Africa. Otherwise, the world will jump up and down. Yeah, I mean, if Trump imposes sanctions because he's insulted, because Ramaphosa mocks him, because they're not trading, that's not a legitimate basis to do it. I mean, that's petty. But if Ramaphosa and MTN are found guilty of funding terrorism that killed American soldiers, yeah, oh, that's when it comes. That's when the hammer comes. The ANC to make me mad. No, you're mistaken. Hey, Carl, what's going on? 140 Rand super chat. I thought there were no clouds tonight. Brett's usually a cloud giver, but he's probably on hard times. Guy's got to work 2 shifts to keep his food on his table. Just teasing, Brett. Africa got... the whole world, 90 countries got it. And in fact, the media in South Africa lie. Journal Freak today, South Africa got a punitive tariff that's higher than anywhere in Africa. That's a lie. That's a lie. Remember the initial tariffs? Let's go back to the initial tariffs. Was it 90% against Lesotho? Yeah, let me see what the original tariff rates. Let's see. So South Africa is just a liar. Algeria got a 30% tariff rate. Angola 32%. Botswana 37%. Oh, we're picking on South Africa. South Africa got a 30% rate. While they mock our president and they lie and they steal land from people. That's right. They steal land. The government allows the theft of land in Sesheho and Polokwane. What happened to that? What about the land that was demarcated and stolen near East London or in Port Elizabeth? What about that land? By the police, no less. Outside Uitenhage. That land. What about the land northwest? Yeah. All right, Brett. Good to see you. Cameroon got 11%. Chad, 13%. Let's see who else in Africa got a high one. Iraq got 39%. Lesotho, 50%, not 90%. Sorry, 50%. 50%. South Africa got 30%. Yet the South African media continue to lie and say that South Africa got the highest rate in Africa. No. South Africa got 30%. 30%. So that's the true. I'm going to save that so I've got it so people can't lie about it. Yep. So other countries in Africa got higher rates than South Africa. But the media lie about it. That's all they do. They lie, they lie, they lie. Cara, I'm okay. I'm going for my injection tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. What's with this chair, man? It's feeling kind of loose. Yeah, so going for my injection tomorrow. Let's hope it's not scary. Yeah, I told some people, I went to the Veterans Organization earlier, just check in, make sure everything was fine there, and walk around and greet people and see how their meal and their evening was going. And I told a couple people, I said, they have to jab this needle in my hip right on into the socket there. They have to use an ultrasound to guide the needle in so they don't paralyze me. And, I said, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm in such pain and not walking properly, I'd probably wuss out and not do it. Yikes. That's a nice avatar there, Marley. I like that. And now apparently kids from grade 1 to 3 cannot be held back if they fail the grade. Exactly. Lowering the bar by the day. Yep. Anyway. Yeah, they're mocking the poor, and Grady Montasha mocking people for not having jobs. USA stopped the handouts to South Africa and also removed their tax base by offering a chance for survival to thousands. Yep. Rudolph says things are escalating very fast here. We don't know what they're planning next to harm us more. I hear you. Yeah. Thank you, Cara, for the 140 Rand super chat. I forgot all about super chats in the stream. We got 192. Wow, we have 300 people this hour. Thanks for tuning in, folks. So once again, Cyril Ramaphosa doubling down against the United States, saying that people are going hungry. I mean, the song I wrote there, "Trash in the USA," is perfect. It's perfect. Trash the USA while their own people are suffering day by day. It's incredible. Was saluting Zimbabwe. Yeah, I know. It's just he's doubling down on stupidity. Good. That's exactly what they should have done. That's what I expected. I didn't say boycott Hilton. I said boycott that business. Yep. No one else told about the Stoltz interview. Yep. Or 1,000 plus refugees in the U.S. That's correct. So I do know on good authority that certain South Africans have been contacted by the New York Times and a couple other publications here in the States who, as I've told you, are you listening, New York Times? I know you're listening. I know for a fact, and I've heard it from more than one person, that the New York Times and other U.S. media publications are watching my videos as a basis to write stories. And instead of contacting me, the analyst who actually analyzed the information and presented it in a fashion that they could understand because they're not that bright, they contact South Africans here in the States and in South Africa for their comment on what I had to say. So let me be very clear about this. New York Times has my contact information. They have my phone number. They have my email address. I've spoken to John Elligan, who is from the Caribbean but an American citizen, who is a New York Times-based journalist in Johannesburg. A New York Times journalist based in Johannesburg, an American citizen. I've arranged a Zoom interview so he could interview Thea von Straten because she wasn't comfortable being interviewed by the mainstream media unless I was present. I offered to do that so that she would do the interview. She did the interview. He treated her fairly in that story. It was a pretty fair story. New York Times has my contact information. CNN has my contact information. Politico has my contact information. Several media outlets do, but none of them are calling me. None of them. It's an intentional shadow banning effort is what it is. Yep. It does not hurt all. They said I could watch the screen and see what they're doing, but I chose to cover my eyes. Leslie, I think I will also cover my eyes. No, I don't fit the narrative at all because I tell the truth and I can't be bought. Also, let me address something else. I don't have to, but we had a troll come on. It seemed innocent at first, but he kept going on, so it was obviously a troll. So people were asking about, I forget why this came up, and something about adverts, something like that. And I said, well, I've added up how much time I spent this year. So like earlier today, I answered 15 email messages earlier today for people, sent responses, and at least a third of those people responded back. And so I spent 2.5 hours of my day today, the one day this week I have free time, 2.5 hours answering email, trying to catch up. I not a prayer of catching up, but tried to do stuff. I also did something that I don't normally do, and I won't do this again. I had a refugee tell me that they were stuck in South Africa. They were called by a refugee agency in America, and the people they know in America said they couldn't host them. So those people said, we don't have any money, which is bullshit. And so that's it. Well, they gave me the telephone number for the agent. I don't do this. I don't call the agents. I call the organization they work for. But I had time. I said, let me try it. I called. I asked this lady. She's some kind of foreigner who immigrated to America. I said, yeah, I'm calling on behalf of this person who's a refugee in South Africa. Can you tell me if, in fact, you did refer the case back to USCIS? And that's all I asked. I wasn't afraid to ask me personal information. She said, no, I don't know who you are. I can't answer your question. And you know what? She's right. She shouldn't answer my question. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know my bona fides. I'm just some dude calling on the phone. From her perspective. And I wouldn't answer the question either. She was polite. I was polite. And I said, you're right. Didn't answer it. Can you tell me which agency you work for? Because I don't know the name of it because the guy didn't tell me. She says, I can't tell you that. I said, so you can't tell me who you work for? She says, I'm not comfortable. I said, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll find out from the refugee. So I wrote back the person asking for the information. But I never do that. I never call the agent directly because I'm not trying to confront them. I call the people they work for, or I write to the people they work for and say, hey, wait a second. We might have a problem here. Yep. Anyway, so so that came up. And what came up was about remuneration somehow. And I said previously on previous broadcasts that I have forewent, I have allowed to pass by me. You know, I was updating this year. Early in the year, I said about 300,000. Then I updated, it was 500,000, then about 750,000. And now in 2025, a rough estimate, what I would have made at my consulting rates for the number of questions I answered, for the time I spent answering people's questions, refugee program, in person, on the phone, in WhatsApp, email, and broadcasting, is about $1 million US, 17 million rand. And somebody said, that's disingenuous. He makes money. Who's he telling he doesn't make money? I didn't say to make money. I have told the truth about this program, that in 6 years I ran the program, I didn't turn a profit, and that every penny that I made was spent plus $50,000 I was in the hole. That's true. That's true. And my tax returns show it. I wasn't making money. Anyway, so yeah. Timo is selling, I'm that legendary Chris everybody's talking about. Are you serious? I don't do Timo. Fake news makes money. I was going to stay journalism. I'm very happy I chose a different path, as I wouldn't have been a good liar. Same here. Yep. So that's what I said. I said I forewent income, and it's true. And everybody's like, you don't have to tell people that. And I said, whatever. Candlelight vigil for January 6th. These people are such frauds. Yeah, I've got an op-ed on that. Let me read this up. Let me play Cyril one more time because I think some people are here just to hear about Cyril. So this is the Rama crapper here, doubling down earlier today. Let me find him. Let me play both these clips, okay? Here's the first one. This one is about a minute, and the second one's a minute. Okay, so this is Cyril Ramaphosa, his take on Venezuela. Okay.
Displacement. It is our commitment to international law and the United Nations Charter that informs our deep concern and action of the United States in Venezuela, which has undermined the territorial integrity and sovereignty of a UN member state called Venezuela. We reject utterly the actions that the United States has embarked upon and stand with the people of Venezuela. And we demand the release of President Maduro and his wife as well. We reiterate our call for decisive action by the United Nations Security Council to fulfill its mandate and advance peace and security.
Yeah, so someone commented and said, I listened to it and I didn't see anything Cyril said that was particularly wrong. And I said, no, I'm not saying anything he said was particularly wrong. What I'm saying is what he said was diplomatically incorrect. It was aggressive. We demand the release. No, you should say we urge the United States to release them. That's what you say. Or we ask. You don't demand. Who are you to demand? Who are you to demand? Are you the people with this army that's going to demand that we do things? Is this what you're going to demand with this army?
That you can fly the wind, you can play with it. So sare ne ka jam jacket vele.
Only kwa ba tsile white flag. Ba utlwile ba fana ba patla motho.
Yeah. Is that what you're going to back up your demands with? See, the weak will suffer what they must, folks. So that was Cyril the first time, and that's the army he's using to back up his demands. Here's the second one.
Well, I think everybody now in the world.
Notice the communist guy with him.
What
SACP.
has happened is a violation of international law and also a violation of the United Nations Charter. And that is why we called for the Security Council to meet to discuss this matter. And they are the one body that is mandated by the entire world to deal with issues of peace, to deal with issues of security. And we are hoping that the collective wisdom that resides in the Security Council and in the UN body as a whole will bring forward solutions and bring to bear some good sense that should prevail. Because what has happened now basically is giving carte blanche to anyone to mount an invasion on any country. And clearly that cannot be something that we are all pleased with. But the Security Council, as well as the United Nations, must deal with the matter. So they are best placed to address this matter.
So that's giving carte blanche for anybody to do an invasion, really. You mean like the Chinese invasion of Korea in 1950? The Chinese invasion of Vietnam in 1979? The Vietnamese invasion of Cambodia in 1978? The Tanzanian invasion of Uganda in 1979? Those invasions. The South African invasion of Lesotho in 1998, Operation Boleas. The 5 South African invasions of the Comoros in the last 25 years. Those invasions. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Giving people, or the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Georgia, the Russian invasion of Nagorno-Karabakh, Abkhazia. Are you talking about that? Is that what you're talking about, buddy? Or we could basically call the Chinese surrounding the island of Formosa, Taiwan, and firing live ammunition at the island, forcing the fishing boats back into port. That's not really invasion, but yeah, that's the strong do what they want, man. Yep. Pikachu, I've already covered. It's not the ANC marching. It's the Communist Party, South African Communist Party on the 8th of January. 8th of January. It's now the 7th in South Africa. Still the 6th here. It's the 8th. When do you going to interview the 59ers? I'm curious to see how they move on. Well, I'm waiting to hear back from Thea, who wrote to me just before New Year's and said she'd be coming on the program shortly. I can reach out to a couple other people. I can ask Charles if he wants to come back on, and Earl. They're usually pretty good. Earl and his family have gone through a cancer scare. Willem and Cara have also gone through some medical issues for Willem, so I haven't had them back on. Having people on all the time isn't necessarily good. You got to give people a chance to get adjusted and settled. So, I also have more refugees coming on. I've got a colored family that's flying today, and they will be coming on the program pretty soon. So lots going on. Also, I've announced that I'm planning to travel to Texas for a meet and greet. It's going to be bigger than Texas meet and greet in the Dallas area, most likely Dallas-Fort Worth. So any of the 187 refugees already on the ground in Texas are welcome to come, along with any South Africans or those of South African origin residing in Texas and nearby Louisiana, Oklahoma are welcome to come to it. Planning for the end of January right now. I'm willing to pay the price for my flight. It's come out to about $500, so that's that. I'll have to rent a car. That'll cost me another $300. Hotels, unless someone provides free accommodation, will cost me another $400 or $500. So I'm willing to fork out probably about $1,500 of my own income to make this trip to do this. I've invited Dean Chancey, but he is not in the country, so he won't be able to attend. I've also invited a couple other folks, some influencers and those involved with the refugee program. And I'll let the cat out of the bag now. I'm planning this with John B. Wells from the Caravan to Midnight, and with Brendy anyway, and inviting John and Brendy to come to the event. There's been a suggestion we do a bribe, but I'm trying to make this a no-cost event. Unless there's someone that's wealthy can donate, they provide the stuff for the bribe. I don't know how that'll go. We'll have headliners there to share. It's a chance for camaraderie and hugs and handshakes and things like that. But the big Texas meet and greet is coming, folks. The big Texas meet and greet is coming. I've already traveled to Alabama to meet refugees, where I've met nearly double digits there. I've traveled to Idaho, where I've met double digits of refugees out there. And now I've had refugees from South Carolina travel to me. And I've also offered to meet with refugees from Philadelphia, but they're busy getting their life settled. And now I'm willing to travel to Texas to meet with a host. 16% of all the refugees who arrived through December 31st were placed in Texas. So there you go. Modified Intel says, I'll give 500 towards the Texas meet and greet. Well, that's fantastic, Modified Intel. That's fantastic. The best way to do that, unless you're in Texas, to hand it over to us, would be to use the PayPal. Don't send it through YouTube. Do the PayPal if you want to do that. I'll put that up for people. Remember, there's someone impersonating me on PayPal. It's not me. There's only one way to use PayPal, and that's right here. That's my PayPal email address. If you send me an email there about the refugee program, about politics and stuff, it doesn't get answered. I only go in that email to check it occasionally and keep the account active. It's solely for my PayPal. I mean, I have so many email accounts. I keep that one specifically just to deal with PayPal issues because there's so much in the years in the past, way back in the day before people knew about PayPal, there's so much fraud. I had to keep an account just for that. So there you go. So if you want to help out, that's where you can do that. That's awesome. So Peter, I've done the 59ers and I'll do it again. I'll do them again. Yes, you're right, Philip. We have veto rights. So Ramaphosa is just talking on his backside. Anyway. He ought to realize how powerful the United States is, yet he's still out there running his mouth. Yeah, the stuff from Fikela is even worse. You're right. He's going to wind up having himself on a list too. I did not see an interview where Ronald will admit that South Africa is third world country. Yep. Well, remember after the White House, by the way, talk of provocations, Cyril Ramaphosa kept the President of the United States waiting at the Oval Office for their meeting for 42 minutes. That's when he arrived, 42 minutes late. Remember that? Okay, Thelma, good to see you there. SACP announced yesterday that they will be contesting elections independently. No, they announced that a year ago. They've been arguing about it, so the ANC is trying to stop them. People will see the colored couple and still insist only for Afrikaners. Well, we've seen the Stolze family, a story that's not being reported by the media. Looking forward to the event. Okay, work people, me too. I haven't seen Shepo Motsepe in quite some time. I have no idea. Yep. So, what else? Thank you, Modified Intel. I'm also swamped here for now, but might start to work soon. Just a few medical things to get out of the way. Then I want to. There you go. See, Rohan is waiting to do an interview with me too. Make it like a true South African brag. Oh, bring their own food. Okay, we can do that. Caveman and pretend it's not a caveman, but it's still a caveman. Yep. Yeah, exactly. 42 minutes late for the President of the United States. Worst game plan in history. Darty says, thanks for pointing facts. My pleasure. So there's a basket case, and only the Don can annex the country. Okay, my phone just lit up. But it's not 100% charged, so it must be a message. All right, that was Brandy Wells. Good morning, Dwayne Funstaden. How's it going, man? Maze, how's it going? We have no idea. It was never okay. So here's the things the media never talked about, and then they lied about. In the Oval Office meeting with President Trump, number one, Trump did not bring up the topic of white genocide. That was brought up by South Africa's media. South Africa's media asked that question. They asked the question: do you still believe there's a white genocide in South Africa? After meeting with President Ramaphosa, do you still believe there's a white genocide in South Africa? To which he didn't really get to answer. It was answered by Ramaphosa, who interrupted his host and said, I'll answer this if that's okay. So there you go. And then so they lied about that. Then the second thing that they never covered is the racist bilge from President Ramaphosa. Have you met my white Minister of Agriculture? Wow. Why do you have to identify him as white? We can see that Johnny Boy is pretty pale. He's the only white guy in the crowd. Yeah. So that they didn't report. They also didn't report that Ramaphosa was 42 minutes late. I mean, that should have been headline news. My reporting is phenomenal and reliable. Thank you. Yeah, Xavier, they're largely ignoring the fact that there's a legal case. There's been an indictment. So they're all like, this is all made up. It's about the oil. Trump just did this to get the oil. Really? Really? If it was about the oil, he would have done it on January 21st. Not today. Or June 21st. Also, he would have done it his first term. There's an indictment against Maduro that's been standing since 2019. Can we really pat ourselves on the back and say, well done? Not really. My pink ministry. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but none of the media, any legitimate journalist would have said that was kind of odd. President Ramaphosa, for this very important meeting when South Africa is desperate to get the tariffs negotiated down. Also, they want to refute the argument that the media portraying and that has been applied to President Trump about a so-called white genocide. It's odd that the president of South Africa would be late, 42 minutes nonetheless. Not a minute, not 2 minutes, not 5 minutes, but 42 minutes late. Kept the president of the United States waiting. What kind of power move is that? This isn't West Africa. You're not impressing people by showing up late. Yep. Yep, that's the guy, Lexington. That's the one. Yep, that's John B. Wells. Carlos, you're correct. By the way, Carlos, that Deborah DeRichter, I mentioned that earlier. You might want to, I'll tell you about that. Another person who's slandering me and committing criminal injury. Defamation. Cupcake needs to clean up his own backyard. Yep. Yeah, John B. Wells has such a great voice, man. It is. Yep, South Africa is definitely in the Magnitsky Act. They forget we already have legislation that can sanction folks there. CakeNet started Serious Tonight, Promised Land about the refugee program. How objective? Well, okay, let me answer that question. I don't know how objective it is. Rian van Heerden is the main interviewer on there. He interviewed me. Willem and Kar and I can talk about that. Willem and Kar, you're here. I'd like your opinions because you were interviewed. I showed up during your interview. CakeNet started Serious Tonight, Promised Land about the refugee program. How objective will it be seeing it's hosted by Rian van Heerden, who is very against the program. So, but the program is not about the refugees. That's part of it. It's about South Africans, Afrikaners in America. So, future looks bright. I asked Kara and for Willem if they're still here to answer that question. I don't know how it's going to come out. I'm in that. If I even show up in the video, we'll see. They were very friendly to me. By the way, half of his crew are viewers of my program. Yeah, hey, Mike, what's going on? I've sent you an email. We'll have a look at it your own time. Okay, thank you very much for the 100 Rand, Mike. About the oil. Yeah, it's about China not getting the oil. That's what it's about. It's geostrategic. All right, thank you, Carlos. Yep. Is Lily here? Somebody, I don't see it. Somebody says, hi, Lily. Is Lily here? Where's Lily? I didn't see Lily. Oh, there she is. Hey, Lily van de Plas. What's going on? Lily, yep. I was just talking about the plan for the meet and greet in Texas. Does Mr. Wells sound like that cowboy guy? No, he's got a cool voice. Yeah. John B. Wells. He's on right now. He's on it. We should be on right now. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him. Caravan to Midnight. I'll give you his voice for a second. You'll be able to hear it. Caravan to Midnight. Let me see if I can find him talking. Yeah, he's live right now.
Did not want that alliance because that could...
Okay, that's his guest tonight. They were very happy with my appearance last night. I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's I assume it's on CakeNet.
Putin the way he wanted to.
All right, I don't know who this guy is. Dave Hodges. I'm waiting for John B. Wells to talk.
And so...
Let me go back to the beginning and see what I can get there. No. Trying to find where he talks. Okay. Here he is.
World War II. That's when things got really interesting.
There's John B. Wells.
General Patton is assassinated because he said we've been fighting the wrong ones the whole time. We should have gone against the Soviets.
Art Bell. I know Art Bell. Yep.
A few years later, we have to...
That's John B. Wells. That's whose program I was on last night, folks. That's the voice. The Lexington man. Lexington. Don't know if it will be objective, but will we see when it airs? We are companies. I don't know. I know it was supposed to air now. I didn't know it was coming this early. So, yeah, he does have an awesome voice. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm supposed to be in the documentary. Rian was trying to, I think he was fair in the documentary, but he did harp on a couple points that I kept answering it over and over the same thing. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, Rian van Heerden, I need to ask him, how do I see the video? There he is. All right, I sent Rian from here the message. Okay. Yeah, the crew were really nice and seemed genuine. Six-part series. Wow. Okay. Promised Land, 6-part series. Let me see if I can at least find an ad for it. Come on. Let me see if I can find an ad for it. Yeah, a 6-part series. I didn't know it was that long. They put a lot of time into it, man. Okay, why is it not searching? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. TV South Africa. Oh, there it is. It's on DSTV, so I'll never be able to watch it then. So here you go. Is the link to the cake, that one. Website for a client. Okay, well, that's cool. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program, those tuning in. This is a pretty awesome crowd we've got for a Night Owls. That's good to see you all there. So this is the couple stories on it, one from November and one from today. Let's start with this one here. Let me read this story. So this was written back in November after he did all the filming. So let's see what he told the media. I didn't see this story. So hang on a second. There we go. Oh, it's DSTV. You bet it's behind a paywall. What Rian van Heeren discovered while investigating South African immigration in Belofteland. Captures stories of fear, hope, loss, survival, new beginnings among South Africans considered or living abroad. Broadcaster and filmmaker Rian van Heeren takes viewers on a journey across South Africa and the United States in his new documentary series. 6-part series follows across both countries, exploring the complex and personal decision to immigrate. Investigates whether America is the promised land for those leaving their homeland. The show examines a range of motivations, including survivors of farm attacks, victims of violent crime, and farmers considering whether to remain in South Africa or move abroad. Yep. In the United States, he meets South Africans who move voluntarily for professional opportunities or through the H-2A program, sees to work on American farms. He also interviews those who accept President Trump's executive order granting special refugee status. What struck me most was how many South Africans in America still feel something missing even after years of living there, of course. Some of the interviews were incredibly emotional, especially with those who accepted Trump's offer. At a point, many of their answers began to sound the same. So I believe viewers will walk away with a clear understanding of their own choices and what the future may hold. Premieres January 7th, 8 p.m. on CakeNet with English subtitles, will be available on DSTV to stream later.
Op 7 Februarie 2025 verklaar president Donald Trump Afrikaners tot vlugtelinge.
I'll stop it there so I don't get a copyright claim from these guys. New today. Immigration is one of the most personal and complex decisions a family can make. Broadcaster and filmmaker Rian van Heeren takes on a journey across South Africa and the U.S. to unpack one of the most polarizing questions of recent time. Is America really the promised land? Examines the reason behind South Africans are considering or already made the move to America. Yep. So there you go. There you go. So that's it. I didn't know it was going to air that quickly. I don't know anything about a military service letter. I've heard people tell me they need a letter, but I don't know nothing about that. Know nothing about that. That's because, I'll tell you why, Sloth Puppy. I didn't like the sound of my voice there, and that's because on there I'm talking on a telephone line. It's not a microphone. It's a telephone, and so you're calling on a telephone. I don't like. I hear my voice on the telephone, and I don't like my voice up. Some people like my voice, but when you hear it over microphone, it's very different, or in person. Adults always feel something missing. Children grow up in a new country and don't have any of those feelings. Exactly. You're right. Future is looking bright. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, it's Sloth Puppy. There's an OG. Definitely. Oh, is Maze here? Okay. Good to see Maze. Well, I must have go to a hospital in what used to be a green leafy suburb in Parktown to see the mayhem below. My goodness. Yeah, you can't get a military service letter. Who would you get it from? From the Department of Defense, I would imagine. Military telephones numbers aren't working currently. They're most likely still on leave. Yeah, probably. May says Trump. Yep, you're right about that. So imagine that any South African reporters will be rejected. I've lost all trust in anything South, especially news. Well, and I'll put it this way. So Willem and Carr are here. I think they answered the question. Let me see. I think Willem said the crew is very nice. Don't know if it will be objective, but we will see when it airs. As we were complimenting USA President Trump, also told him that Ramaphosa is not our president. Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, Trump didn't pay the bounty on him, though. No one got the money. For the first time in a long time, I caught the tail end of Colin, and he told viewers to go, really? That's very kind of Colin. That's very nice. Look, I've had good experiences on his channel. I've had a few people on his channel that try to give me grief, and that's their prerogative if they want to be that way. But, I mean, I've never had a beef with him. I don't agree with everything he says and the approach he takes. I do kind of like he's kind of laid back, sitting in a chair, smoking his cigarette. I like that. It's kind of cool. But it's kind of him to tell people to come watch my program. That's very kind of him. Look, I mean, I'll tell you, you want to watch quality content. I mean, he has things are interesting. You can watch that. Ronaldo has his own approach. You can watch Morning Shot. These are all Citizen Concerned, and she puts out some good content. Big Dad Liberty is currently not doing that because he's working for the DA, so he's no longer doing that. But the Conscious Caracal does great content. Aaron Rhodes does great content. These are all channels. You want to check them out? Go check them out. I haven't watched Kool-Aid. I've seen it a little bit of Kool-Aid, 10 minutes of Kool-Aid. The Sama Samba, people like him. You guys can watch all this stuff. Joe Emilio. Joe is pretty good. Joe tries to be objective and fair. I think he's a better reporter than a comedian. Tell him I said that. Tell him I said that. Yeah, anyway. Lili's excited. What are you excited about, Lili? What's going on? What are you excited about? Did you tell somebody what you're excited about? Okay. All right. I think I've caught up with that stuff now. Yeah, so we'll see how the series goes, but I don't think I'll be able to watch it. I sent Rion a message. I don't think he's up at this hour. Oh, cool. That's cool. So Rion is up, and he did respond to me. I just told him I want to watch it all. I'll be in episode 4. So I did make it. I made the cutting room floor. Yeah, so look, I found Rion to be engaging, but also I could tell that he comes from a left of center perspective. Willem, I didn't find him, I mean, he didn't interview you guys. He interviewed me, though. But the problem I had with the interview was not him. It was the venue. And that wasn't their fault. They scouted out a place, but it didn't work out, so we moved to a different spot. And it was just too much noise and distractions. I found it hard to focus. Also, they want me to stare at the camera, not at him. And that's an awkward sort of thing. I'm so accustomed to being the guy interviewing and staring at the person and reading visual cues. So to stare into the camera, I mean, that's what the news presenters do at night. They just stare at the camera. I'm not staring at the camera now. I'm looking at myself, I can see myself on screen. So yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, he appointed a new special investigative unit. That's correct. I've got that here. I didn't cover it yet. Media's gone rogue again. No crickets since May, and again, November, nothing, but no, I'm not losing hope. Can't wait to be free. Please, God, I do not want to be a burden to the USA. Well, I wouldn't worry about that, Mace. We have lots of people that are burdens, and it's not a problem. Which wasn't long ago. My husband just had to give a history of his service. No military letter. I don't see why. I don't know anything about a letter, but I have been told by a couple people that they need to provide a letter of their service. So, Sam Elliott. Oh, he's got a great voice, man. Yeah, Sam Elliott's a great actor. Might be wrong, but most okay. Oh, okay. When you say Department of Defense, do you mean the Department of Welfare, the Salvation Army? Just imagine being in the U.S. and you apply for a job and you're judged in merit only. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh? Nearest military base HR department. There you go. That's what I was figuring, Herman. So if you live in Zeros, there's a military base right there. Go ask them. It's right as you go out, as you head north towards Kopfontein, the Tloquang border crossing, just past the Madikwe Game Reserve. You don't have to go that way. You just, as you're leaving Zeros and you go before the road turns hard left to go up the mountain, it's just on the right-hand side. That's where the base is there in Zerost, for example. Afrikaners and English are excluded. From what? From what? Will you do more meet and greets in the future? Would you like to? Yeah, no, of course, Vimpy. But doing it in America is not easy. Doing them in South Africa is much easier. But and I will do them in South Africa, but we have to be very careful about security in South Africa for various reasons. Max, you can post. Yeah, you can post. That's fine. Military archive telephone. Okay, I got that. Okay, so I think I'm caught up now. Mad Max, there it is right there. Well, I just said you could do it. He already did it. There you go, folks. He can post that. So that's where you get information. On these even said who to contact. Well, I'm going to have to send me that, Max, so I can save it in WhatsApp. It'd be great if you could have more of Lili and others. You cooperate in a show once a week. Yeah, no, once a week is a bit much. Lily is seeking employment, I believe, and so when she has a job, then that's going to be a little bit harder for her to do that. So I'm not trying to put a burden on her. Also, you guys, I don't think people even appreciate the volume of stuff here that's coming in. Well, Joe Rogan's show, if he'll have me, yeah. I went back in my old unit and my place was abandoned. Well, that's crazy, Buster. A friend of mine found out about the refugee program through me. She applied and is flying soon. That's crazy, Marley. Lily says he's objective. Well, that's not what people say. They say he's a leftist. I mean, I found it to be pretty objective. It was pretty cool interacting with him. I enjoyed it. Your cat, 12 beers because he wasn't well enough to walk to get specialist. What? Yeah, Sam Elliott in the Ranch was great. I love that show. I mean, I couldn't stand Ashton Kutcher at all until I watched The Ranch. And then I came to appreciate his talent as an actor. And you know, I went back and watched other things he did, and especially like the 70s show. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, you guys have got to tell Joe Rogan to have me on. I'd love to go on Joe Rogan. I'm going to Dallas. Is he in Dallas or where's he at? Yeah, I'm sure he's booked out weeks to months in advance. Yep. Cooley is great, worth a watch, says Leona. Okay. I can do web development. I'd love to see you on Joe Rogan. I'd love to be on Joe Rogan too. That'd be great. If I wanted Joe Rogan, I'm pretty sure that I would gain 500,000 subscribers easily. Okay, Lily, I didn't want to break the news. You've broken it there. Yes, Lily has found a job. I think you might have mentioned your program, but it wasn't my place to mention it. She did tell me she found a job. You guys say would totally have me on his program, but I've never got an invite from the Joe Rogan program, and people have been talking about it for years. He's in Houston. Well, that's a 4-hour drive. I'll stay an extra day and drive to Houston, or 2 days longer to be on Joe Rogan. I'll do that. I have a place to stay. Dean Chancey has a place for me to stay in Houston. I've done it before, but it's a long drive, man. Oh, I did it in the middle of the night because American Airlines got me out of the airport at almost midnight, and I drove from midnight to 4 a.m. I was exhausted. Yep. Now, if someone can get Joe Rogan to get me on to be interviewed or record a session with him, I will hang around for a day or two more. Well, I agree with you. It's all his friends and stuff. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, there you go. By Huluk Lee. Awesome. Yep. There you go. So she's working. There you go, folks. There you go. I didn't know he's in Houston. Well, I'm going to Dallas. Dallas is easy. It's a direct flight for me. It'll save time. If refugees are in San Antonio or Houston, that's about a 4-hour drive for them. They're welcome to come up. The plan is to do it on a Saturday. And so I'm looking right now, roughly, what are the dates I put down here? Let me find that very quickly here. I looked at flights. I haven't booked anything because I need some confirmation from a few folks. And so the 29th of January, Thursday, Friday, so the 31st of January probably is when we're looking at doing this event in Dallas, Fort Worth area. And I'll let the cat out of the bag, Lily. I asked Lily to be one of the headliners with me, along with, if he's available, Professor G. And Dean Chancey, who's not going to be in the States, I invited him as well, and John B. Wells and Brandy Wells. I don't know about that, Lily, about Dallas being the best. It's all right. It's hot as blazes come August. Yeah. All right. Georgia was red forever. It's sort of still red, but depends on who's running for office. No cameras interview. Charles, all natural. I did record you all in my head, though. Yes. Well, Lily offered to make me a braai baruki with no onions. Well, we can live stream the meet and greet, but what we have to do about that is we're going to have to talk to people. I mean, there may be some people who don't want to be on film. I don't want to scare people away. So, you know, but it will also be for all South Africans, those of South African origin who are in the area who want to come. All right. No, I would love to stream it. It'd be great. No, Professor G will appreciate it, but he has to check and see if he's available. He indicated he'd like to come. He's just got to see if he's available. So anyway, there you go. Yep. So this concept came in my head. I was thinking about it for a long time. I thought about going to North Carolina doing one, but the communication with the refugees in North Carolina has kind of dried up. They've kind of moved on. They don't want to be on air. They don't want to talk. They don't want to have anything to do with this. So the people in Texas are very welcoming, the South Africans there, and there's a high density. There's 171 South Africans by December 31st and more arriving now. We had South African refugees arrive yesterday in the United States, and they got safely into places like Kentucky and elsewhere. I can confirm that. And, well, huge viewership would be amazing. Yeah, fingers crossed, Darty says. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the plan, folks. Georgia's reddish. Yes, that's correct. Hey, Faithful Farmer, what's going on? How's it going up in New England, man? Yeah, Garrett's tried to get me on Redacted, yeah. People tried to get me on 2C TV. Emily Schrader offered to come on my program. She's gone silent. She said, send her WhatsApp. I sent her WhatsApp. She hasn't responded. November 22nd is when she agreed to come on my program. Here it is, January 6th. I have not heard back from her. The thing I want her on is no longer timely, but I can still have her on because it's interesting. Laura Logan, my name was dropped with Laura Logan, and all the people that interviewed Rob Hersoff when he was in the States, Rob told all of them about me. And the only one that responded back was Laura Logan. She said I'd come on the program. Then she said I'm traveling. Get back with me in a few weeks. I got back with a few weeks. She ignored me for a month or two. She's busy. And I got back with her. She says, okay, let's schedule this. And then she said, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm like, did Rob Hersoff tell me about you? And she said, oh, he said you're a colonel from South Africa. I said, no, I'm not a colonel from South Africa. I'm a U.S. colonel. And then I sent her links to my LinkedIn. I sent her links to my articles, my published works, my CV, some links to a couple of the top videos. And then she's gone silent. She just foot-secked and went off the planet. So Laura Logan has not contacted me back. Whatever, you know. I don't think people realize how hard it is to get on these programs. How many of these programs don't want people to come on the program for various reasons. Nick Luskis, hey, Chris, thank you for the work you do. I sent you an email from Iowa City earlier this evening. Hope you could assist. I did see your email, Nick. That's one I saw when I answered the other messages from people today. That stack of messages I went through. And I don't think I responded to it. Where's the email at? Doing so many things here. Okay, come on, where's my email at? Well, I guess it got closed. I had that. Okay. Yeah, I think I opened it already. Let me look and see. Because the name jumped out at me. That's like a Greek name. Looks like a Greek name. So there it is. No, I didn't read it. Yep. Yep. Didn't you also send me a WhatsApp? Yeah, you sent me a WhatsApp too. That's what I was looking at. I was reading the WhatsApp, I think. Yeah, I've got the email. Thank you. I got confirmation from another South African who's got their ticket. Oh, dear God. People complaining about where they're going. You know what? Do you want out of South Africa or not? I'm not picking the person, but they're not even left South Africa. They're not leaving South Africa for some time. They've got tickets, and they're like, can I ask to go somewhere else? Are you desperate to get out of South Africa, or are you just trying to immigrate? You know, come on, man. Why don't you get where you're going and stop reading what people tell you in the news and see what it's really like? Oh, no, I think Joe Rogan and I would be a hit together, even though I was not a big fan of his. I mean, I like his approach. Yeah. Caught the end of Colin last night, first time in a long time. He told viewers to go watch Channel Hope when you're in Nelspruit. You too can do it. Yeah, no. I need to go to Nelspruit for him. Also need to go for Mike's Restaurant. I also need to go for my friend Johan Orton. And unfortunately, I don't think Springboks are playing there this year. I don't think there's a test date that's open. So actually, I saved the Springboks test. Let me find it this way. Under Documents, Springboks. I just did that. Spring. Springboks test schedule. I don't think does this one tell me where they're playing? Yeah, so they're playing at Ellis Park, Loftus, Durban, Ellis Park, Cape Town, FMB. On September 12th, that venue is yet to be determined. So it could be Port Elizabeth. It could be in Nelspruit. If it's in Nelspruit, then maybe I can schedule to go in there. The games at the end of the year are away. They're going to be in Italy, France, and Ireland. But they play England, Scotland, and Wales in July, and then they play New Zealand series in August and September. 1, 2, 3, 4 games against New Zealand. Yep. Those tours are tough. I mean, you're on the road for 4 games. Okay, where are we at? Come on, I lost where's my darn video at here? There it is. Silly boy. All right. Okay, what is this about drive? You're not going to drive to Texas, Willem. No, you're not. How is your elderly friend in Howick? When I last spoke to them before Christmas, he was well. He's in his 90s now. Yep. Sean Ryan will be more hit, both ex-military. Yeah, well, you guys, you got to go on these channels and keep mentioning my name, man. Say, you guys got to get the Colonel on. He is switched on. He knows about South Africa, about the world, economics, politics, culture, you name it. Yeah, no, the one place I continually get invited to is Biz News. And, oh my goodness, Modified Intel just gave a 2,000 Rand super chat. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming. Oh my goodness. That is not something we expect on a Night Owls, man. My goodness. Modified Intel. Please let me know when you have time for a PayPal test trying to make sure I load the correct Colonel Wyatt account. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Our sister in Howick, scary place these days. It wasn't bad when I was there, but I was there last year, so. Yep. My goodness. Thank you for that's Arctic isn't here, so we'll ring the bell. Man, oh man, sakes alive. My days, man. Oof. You'll tell everyone that I'm hip and happening. If your meet and greet at Thunder Gun, it wasn't bad, but it was a hell of a crowded. Yeah, you're playing a visit again. Yeah, Xavier, of course. Modified Intel, that's a massive care package you dropped. Colonel, I have Starbucks money now. Oh, speaking of which, okay, is Arctic here? This is only funny if Arctic is here, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so one of the viewers, and I apologize for forgetting who it was, one of the viewers sent me this really cool picture. Where's it at? There it is. All right, hang on a second. Oh, I got before I do this, I got to go back to Arctic's account and save it from there. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so there you go. So, okay. Okay, so you guys are going to love this. This is too funny. This is too funny. Okay, hang on. Excuse me. Okay, where'd it go? I hate this. It shows up and then it disappears. Okay, here we go. So this is what one of my viewers sent. I don't know how it makes me look old and gives me a big nose, but other than that, it's kind of cool. So also, you don't wear ribbons on these uniforms. We're not African, dictators, but this is pretty funny. Things got real. Hey, now if you are in time, please no Thundergun. Look, Maze, we kind of owe it to Thundergun to do it. It was hectic. What we'll probably do is we'll do back-to-back ones. We'll do one somewhere else nearby that's easier to handle that venue, and then we'll do a Thundergun after that. So check this out. So this was done by one of my viewers. They got a Starbucks store behind me. They got me in my fatigues. And they've got me powered by Starbucks. Look at that. Look at the demonic look in my eyes, the charge in my eyes. That's hilarious. I don't care for the haircut, and the beard's pretty good, though. That's pretty funny. What do you think, guys? What do you think of that? Now, also makes my hands look old, but I did get the freckles correct on my right hand. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, powered by Starbucks. But it's been 2 months, man, so the batteries are running low. I'm like one of those AED devices. The batteries are running low after 2 months. So there's that. Now, I sent that to Arctic, and Arctic he sent this in response. He sent this like 5 minutes later. This guy must have like AI on hold. So 5 minutes later, but the eyes don't have the magnetic glint here. So here's what Arctic sent me 5 minutes later. He put a Celsius in my hand instead of a Starbucks, but still in the Starbucks store. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. The hair's wrong and the nose is wrong. Definitely the nose is wrong. And the eyes are brown, not green or blue. So it's all right. It's AI, man. But it's really cool that people do that. It's really humbling that people write songs about me and they do that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, Lily, it's pretty funny, huh? It's an awesome. I like the one with the Starbucks. We're gonna incorporate that into a music video somewhere along the way. Oh, that's just too funny, man. That's just too funny. Yeah. Anyway, so, for those of you tuned in late, I made a song earlier today after the news, and we're trading in our Jan card for our Trump card. That's right, folks. It's a Jan card for a Trump card. This is an Afrikaans song we came up with earlier today. Not to chase people away, but I think you're going to enjoy this. So listen in on trading in the Trump card for a Jan card for a Trump card. It's pretty funny. It's whimsical. It's a whimsical Afrikaans song. Jan van Riebeck is off the hook. He's no longer at fault for the ANC's failures. Now it's Trump.
Vir 300 jaar was hy die enigste naam, die ou in die hoed wat al die skuld geneem het. Arme ou Jan met sy Nederlandse oosvloot, vestig winkel op 'n straat in Kaapstad. Die ANC het 'n gunsteling reël gehad, as dinge verkeerd loop is dit 'n Jan gemaakte ontwerp. Van die Unie trek tot die wenners parade, elke enkele skuld was 'n prys wat Jan betaal het voor koor.
What a price poor Jan paid. Oh, what a price he
Die
paid.
geskiedenisboeke kry rus.
Yeah.
Ons het 'n nuwe ou gevind om op die proef te stel. Sit die portret weg. Bære die ou veerpin. Daar is 'n splinternuwe skak vir die politieke wetsontwerp. Koor, ons verruil die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart. Dis die blinknuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die dom is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons verruil vandag die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart.
Jan-kaart vir die
Die
Trump-kaart.
infrastruktuur verkrummel. Die krane loop leeg. Maar moenie vra hoe en moenie vra hoekom. Nee, vergeet die jare van dieselfde ou groep. Die oranje man en Daisy kom vir jou. Ongelykheid styg, dis 'n Mar-a-Lago komplot. Hy is so gemeen en boos, glo dit of nie. Die oorspronklike gangster is uit-ideer, want Jan van Riebeck is nie meer moordnieuws nie. Brug is die nuwe sondebok. Die vars, allebei.
Oh, Rohan's the one that did that picture for me.
Wanneer die beloftes in 'n leuen verander, koers sluit aan. Amerika is gemeen, die wêreld is so koud. Dis die beste storie wat nog ooit vertel is. Kry jou kaart, speel jou deel, gitaar, sing dit is solo. Ons reël die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart. Dis die blinknuwe manier om die blamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue
Sokkie!
Die dom is die rede.
No, I didn't make the KFC song yet.
Ja, ons reël vandag die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart. Ons reël die Jan-kaart. Tot ziens, Jans.
Tot ziens, Jans.
Hallo, Don.
Hallo, Don.
Dis nou alles sy skuld. Elke
Hey,
liewe
Rita.
bietjie daarvan.
Been a while.
Kyk na die kaart, baba.
Yeah, but the picture came out fuzzy on my end, and also my rank isn't right. You took the ribbons off. That's cool. That's okay. It was fine the way it was. It's AI. That way no one can accuse me of being in a uniform. No, thank you, Rohan. The original was great. Yeah, Modified Intel, that's fantastic. I really appreciate you sending that super chat. That's a super, super awesome super chat. As far as the PayPal, let me just do a screen capture of what that looks like for people so you know. Hang on a second here. I'll just do a little screen capture of my image or save the image so you know what you're looking for people who want to do that. Don't ask me for a code. I just logged in earlier. Ugh, you bastards. Bastardi! Bastardi! Am I at 100% yet? Yeah, I'm at 100% for that, so now I can charge the little device there. Okay, now I gotta look up a text code, dual factor authentication. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, so the number is blank, 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 blank. There we go. See if I got it correct. Okay, I'm all set. Let's go into my PayPal account. Come on, get me there. Come on. All right, so last one to send anything was Janet. So where's my profile at? Come on. There's someone who's using a photograph of me in front of the castle, which they stole from the internet. Okay, so here you go. This is me, and this is the only account you should send it to. Okay. Also, I joined in 2008, so you know that. Okay. So here you go. So if you're looking for my PayPal, you know this is it. Well, also you have to have the email address. So make sure you have the email because someone could try to copy this right now. Probably the thieves are watching right now. So this is the one. Hang on a second. I'll do this here. It's a smarter way to do it. Oh, Jan. Poor Jan. Jan. Okay, where the hell's it at? I just saved it. Where are you hiding at, you bastardi? There it is. Okay. Okay. All right, so... All right, so this is me with one of my ancestors. A drawing of my ancestors, so that's why it's there. There you go. That's me. And, of course, you know the email address. So, yep, where's the email? Is it up here, too? So, there you go. So, those two things have to match, or it's not me. Those two things have to match, or it's not me. There you go. So that's the email you send it to, and that's my account. So if they want to make a fake account and use that email address, that's great because it'll come to me. But there's someone using my photograph, and it's not me, and they are shysters. They're criminals. They're identity thieves, and you should avoid them at all costs. All right. So there you go. Yeah, nobody has popped anything in here recently. Let me go back. Come on. Home is what I want. And Gemini AI says, put this, create Afrikaans lyrics in full Suno style format to copy to Suno AI. Okay, you sent that before, but I'm having success not using those terms. I'll try that and see what happens. I mean, I'm not using up all my credits, that's for darn sure. So, the cup line, my friend. Okay, that's for a video I'm working on. And what's this? Oh, that's dates I got coming. I'll just put it here for now. Okay, I use Notepad quite a bit in Windows because it gets rid of all the formatting for text off the internet sites and off documents. Knopfel Kopf, electrician, welcome to you. I know a few lawyers, accountants, and even some doctors made over. Your time will come. Yep, so do I, future. Lily's doing admin, and she's answering emails. For her, it's almost 11 p.m., so she's going to bed early. I'm still up at midnight. Yeah, the more you watch, the more you like, the more you comment, all that has an impact on the channel. It drives the algorithm. So 347 people currently here. That is good for night owls. That's pretty good. I mean, I would have killed for an audience like this 1 year ago. In the first week of January, having an audience on my news program at 344, I would have been chuffed. I would have been stoked. I would have been walking around sporting wood. Nothing graphic meant to be there. But I would have been so stoked to have an audience this size. And I am tonight for night owls. But, I mean, it's just amazing. A year ago, with an audience of 20,000, we had a small crowd. And typically for a news program, it was 75, maybe 100 people. And I worked my tail off. I haven't changed. I worked just as hard. I like what Modified Intel said a few minutes ago. Let me go back and try to find what he said. Got away from me there. Kara says, Modified Intel, thank you so much for reporting on Colonel as much as you do. He's amazing. Everything he does for all of us. Well, thank you very much for that, Kara. I appreciate it. Modified Intel says, yes, showing off how to support someone sacrifice his own time resource for people that's not his own without asking anything in return. Perhaps a few more can join the sport. Yeah, no, okay, guys. Look, I'm going to be upfront like I've always been. Thank you, Mad Max, for the super chat. Clouds are gathering. And this is for the big one for, when I passed out there from Modified Intel. Oof. So I am in the affiliate program. I can hawk wares for all kinds of brands and make money off of them if you buy it. I'm not doing that. I feel uncomfortable doing that. I'll do it for Starbucks if they want to pay me, but they're not offering Starbucks. I'd do it for Gold Peak Tea, but I'm not comfortable doing that. So, I mean, I could have made money doing that, but I don't do it. There's nothing wrong with people doing that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I've promoted brands with no recompense whatsoever, not asked for it. I've been offered opportunities to make money from doing this refugee thing on at least 3 occasions. I've turned them down. Many of my viewers know that I've turned down, is it 4 or 5? I think it's 5 jobs now, something like that, 4 to 6, somewhere. And I lose track. Jobs all making north of 200,000 rand per, or $200,000 per year. So in rand, what is that? That's what, 4 million rand, something like that. 200,000 times, and that's the low end, times 17. So that's 3,400,000 rand. The top end one I think was 245,000 that I turned down. Times, $245,000 job. And in part, so I could keep doing this, times 17. That one was 4,165,000 rand per year, making more than the president of South Africa. I turned jobs down to be with you guys, in part, not entirely. I mean, there's a little bit other reasons I didn't do it, but so I've been offered jobs, for instance, to work in Uganda, doing defense-related things. I was offered a job in Madagascar, and to be the defense advisor there, which would have been pretty cool. I would have been there during the coup, and a couple of other jobs that come to mind. And I've turned them down. So, people offer to help. People like, you're doing all this. The good is your heart. You deserve some recompense, and that's all fine and dandy. Maybe at some point I will, maybe an offer that's reasonable. If, for instance, all the content I do for the Truth Report, I don't take any money from that. That doesn't mean I won't. That's supposed to be a business. Eventually, I might take some money from that, but I've not taken any money from the Truth Report. Everything I've given them is of my time to help promote that channel. And they might be catching up with me pretty soon. Let me take a look at the Truth Report and see where they're at. Last I saw, they had like 110,000, 112,000 subscribers. Truth Report. Truth Report. Here we go. 112,000 subscribers. Yep. I also did a video from last week and it hasn't shown up. I was getting priority, but it doesn't seem to be happening much anymore now. It's unfortunate. But yeah, no, all the content I do for them, I've done at least 15 videos for them, although not 15 are showing up under my tab. But yeah, yep. I've also made videos for them while I was in England, on the road in the States, and at home. Yep. 35 Rand chat, average team adds up quickly. They do. Thanks for that. Because Mad Max, he does do the breaking news because he's watching the news while I'm trying to present things. So it's really awesome. Mad Max has been a great addition to the program. He's a really cool guy. Got to meet Mad Max and his family. Good people. And I hope that they get what they're looking for and what they're hoping for. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, Hannes Olafir, that's a good point. When South Africans come to America, you can continue to watch my program because I do U.S. news and I do talk South Africa, so you're not going to get that elsewhere. If you're here and you watch the ads, I'll make some coin. For every ad you watch that's in the U.S., I make 8 times as much money as I do for the South African ads. So, yeah, if you're here in the U.S., please watch the channel. Watch the ads. So I do appreciate everything you're doing. I think it's more than you can imagine. Well, Loretta, I thank you. It is overwhelming. It's also incredibly humbling. It truly is. I mean, it is so humbling. That's why when I did the thing the other day at 4 o'clock in the morning, I really do care. But I care about my country as deeply or more deeply. I care about people all over the world. I mean, I care about South Tyrol. I don't spend much time telling people that in this program. I care about Estonia a lot, and Finland. So, you can be a good person in life or you can be a turd, and I try to be a good person. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, doesn't mean I do everything right, doesn't mean I always treat everybody fairly, but I certainly try to. No, I appreciate that, Charles, that you hate the ads, but you're watching them, but they make a lot more money. Now, if you get stuck in one of those 35-minute infomercials, I don't expect you to watch that unless you want to watch it, Yeah. Over 3 months for our tickets, I see the stress on her face. She wants out of this place. I got you that, Tyra. Just filled in the forms, etc. Need to redo my wife's ID issue date. Okay, Marcel, sounds like you're new to this process. What you do cannot be sufficiently correctly stated in words. That's why all I can say is Ista. I know. You call someone Ista. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I called Nas that the other day. Yep, I know. And you say Yes and Legend is pretty cool too. Look, I mean, it's incredibly humbling, and I'm not even going to try to claim this mantle. Emily Hobhouse did some incredible stuff in a different era as a woman, exposing the crimes of the British Empire and putting women and children in concentration camps and trying to bring an end to that horrific, brutal, inhumane human rights abuses. And several people have said I'm the Emily Hobhouse of the 21st century. That's I think that's way too generous, but that's very kind. I when someone said that to me, the good news is I know who Emily Hobhouse is. So as a historian, I know who she is. Doing the vetting for the refugee program for South Africans. No, Bevan Amsterdam, I didn't, because then I can't tell you anything. And if I'm not telling you anything, who's going to tell you? I realize that Professor G came onto this, but his audience is much smaller, and he came onto it much later than I was doing it. And he also approaches it, while he does great information, he approaches it from an asylum perspective. And I have also, while he's an attorney and he has great experience and his analysis is fantastic, and I'm not disputing any of it, he doesn't, to my knowledge, have the experience in government at the highest levels and across the multiple branches of the executive branch, dealing with Congress, dealing with federal agencies, working with foreign governments like I have. And so I bring a different perspective. That's why. And yes, I'll crow. I'll go ahead. I'm going to crow right now. I'm going to tip my own cap here. That's why in November, without any prompting from anybody, I said, you know what? These refugees are going to start freaking out because by the middle of December, nobody's going to be flying. They're going to be, oh, the program's over. Trump has abandoned us. So I made a preemptive video in November, okay, without any prompting from anybody. And I said, hey, listen, you can expect that there won't be any refugees probably flying to the States between the 15th of December and the 5th of January. I did that to calm people down ahead of time. And I explained why. Because there's exodus and people go home for Christmas. And you can't come to the States if the U.S. people aren't processing you and aren't there to receive you at the airports and aren't there to process you and get you on your final destination. Also coordinate with Homeland Security to get you into a refugee assistance program. All that has to be done by Americans. That isn't done by RC. RC does your flights. RC coordinates your interviews to meet with the Americans. RC does your medicals and all that. They do all that, but they don't do the other things. And with the Americans on holiday, no one's going to do it. And if that's not being done, you can't fly to America. So as it turns out, my prediction was almost 100% correct. The last flight of refugees coming to America was the 17th December. 2 days after I thought it would be. And the initial flight coming back left on the 5th. It left on the 5th. People departed South Africa on the 5th of January, first resumption since December 17th, and arrived on the 6th, just like I said. Now, that's because I know how the government works. I've worked inside the government, worked at all levels, and so I know what to expect. And so I'm able to analyze it. Plus, I'm an intelligence analyst. This is what I do. Yeah. Yeah, Professor G is pushing the limits. He's going to give himself PNG. Yeah, if you get premium, you pay the premium, you won't have any ads, and I get money from that. So I think about 7 or 8% of my revenue is coming from YouTube Premium. So let me take a look at my, where's it at here? I think I have to look at it here. Give me a second here. Revenue. Let me see. Yeah. So, come on. So it's not broken down by that. It used to, what the hell's, oh, YouTube Premium. Yeah, 7.9% of my income. Yep, in the last 28 days. So 8% has come from that. Yep. So if you do that, now ads are 27%. The super chats have overtaken the ads this month. The ads were the big contributor early this year when I was making a bit more money. Yeah. So, but I made watch paid ads. So let me give an example. Okay. What's the biggest? Watch paid ads is green. Okay. The biggest day I made on December 16th, I had a lot of views that day, 250,000. I made after they, well, that's before they take their cut. I made a couple $100 off of ads. Yep, that one day. But I mean, most days I'm making like $10, $15. Yeah. Yep. So, yep. So anyway, so that's you know, that's that. Take it for what it's worth. But yeah, if you have premium, I do get money from that. I don't know how they break that down, but I do get money from it. Did you consider doing the vetting? Okay, yeah. No, Freya, Germany's about the same. It's about 6 or 7 times what's South. The problem, okay, look, this is nothing against South Africa. People have to understand the way this stuff works for ads. The whole environment is created by YouTube. It's all digital. People aren't involved. They just change the algorithms. They change standards, and they put it out there, and the companies bid. So it's all done electronically. They bid. They put the ads up and everything. Like I said, 3 ads when this show started tonight. I watched it on my mobile. I put it on my mobile, and when I played it, it starts out with a Mint Mobile commercial. Then it went to some other commercial. Went to the third commercial. By the time it finishes commercials, we were halfway through the first song, and I listened to the rest of it. So, and that's not so I make money on revenue. That's so I can make sure that sound is coming out over the internet because it can deceive me in here. I've talked and it says the microphone's working. It's showing me stuff going out in the past and nobody can hear me. So that's why I do that when I start the program, make sure that it's actually running good. So yeah, Professor G is a true patriot. So but the ads are based on market size and the wealth of a market. South Africa is a very tiny advertising market. It's Temu, Take-A-Lot, Shein, stuff like that. Buy my car, whatever it is. We buy cars. So those ads generate far less revenue because there's a lot fewer viewers and the revenue coming in is much cheaper to advertise for South Africans than it is, say, for Ford Motor Company or for Mint Mobile here in the States. But these aren't lucrative. I mean, if you look at it, I'll get like 0.0000017 cents per, so many views. But that adds up. When you have 240,000 people watch your videos in a day, that adds up to ads. and that's fantastic. I mean, if I had 1 million viewers, these guys with 1 million and more viewers, they don't have to do anything in life. They just sit around on YouTube and make tons of money. It really is. It's crazy how much money YouTube makes off of this stuff. Good to them. They created this environment, and now they're not censoring like they used to. I don't have the beef I used to have with them. I wish they would stop shadow banning. But so South Africa is a small market. U.S. is a huge market, very valuable advertising. Britain is a valuable market, and Germany is a valuable market. So yeah, that's why. Here I am thinking of pictures. My Standard 4 history textbook had a black and white picture of my hot bass in my mind. I'm seeing the colonel. Do you make more out of ads or some? Well, the subscription. Okay, well, subscriptions don't last. People don't renew them. A lot of them are gift subscriptions, and I really haven't been offering people anything extra of late for the subscriptions because it really doesn't work. People say they want extra things, but then they never watch it, and I don't like making content that's behind a paywall. So most people who subscribe just do it because they know that the revenue comes in the channel and it's consistent and countable revenue, and I appreciate it. Like I haven't watched any of Ronaldo's videos for the past several weeks. I've been busy, and I have a membership on there. I have a membership on there from a channel that was banned. They took my channel down, my original account, and I couldn't even go into YouTube under that. So every month I was paying Ronaldo $5 a month and I couldn't comment. I had to use a different account. So, but I kept paying for it to support Ronaldo's channel. So let me see. I got to do it this way. It's analytics, okay, and let me go to that. Okay. So what was the question about there a moment ago? Ads or subscription. Yeah, so memberships. So memberships is the third largest revenue. That's traditionally where it's at. It's not the biggest. And it doesn't match. I mean, if I have a couple thousand memberships, it really doesn't match. It's crazy how they do this. It's kind of annoying because, where do I find this at? I haven't looked at that in a while, the number of members I've got. Memberships. So let's see how many I've got right now. So right now I have 1,529 members. And it was pretty steady. October, it was 1,071. And then December 15th, it was 1,100. So it started climbing December 5th, and then it jumped a lot. And now it's leveled off at 1,500. It's been around 1,500. But so 681 new and 269 cancellations. So that's a gain. I got this guy here, Master and Commander, which pays me $15 a month before they take their 30% cut. Rejoin, and then recruit, rejoin. Yeah, so here I can see my members. I can't see subscribers, but I can see members. Yep. Rejoin. Yep. So, yep. Anyway, so yeah, 1,500 right now, which is pretty good. Yep. So, but what's crazy about that is YouTube steals the money left. They steal you blind because I got a $14.99 rate, I've got a $9.99 rate, and I've got a $3.99 rate. I think it is something like $2.99. So if I have 1,500 subscribers, and I was getting just the $3 per month, that would mean that it would be $4,500 of revenue, right? I'd be getting $4,500. I don't even get a third of that. And that's with Master and Commander. So I have 1,427 recruits. That's the lowest level. 85 platoon leaders and 17 Master and Commander. The 17 Master and Commander alone, that should be at $15. 17 times 15. 17 times 15. That should be $255. No. Anyway, I don't see that. But it does help, and the revenue's there. So, yeah. So if you can become a member, that's great. Appreciate it. How do I find somebody to say if I know their full names? There's lots of ways to check on the internet for that. You can just do a search for them. Jacobus, does it work? Okay. It helps me love what you do. Yeah, I love what I do. Jackson Hole. I was just out in Jackson Hole, Mace. Need my opinion. Okay, what do you need my opinion on, Nee? So when in the U.S. you will benefit more if we as a family is not subscribed. No, okay, no, Loretta, you got to be subscribed. Everyone needs to subscribe. First off, you can't even chat on my videos anymore or comment unless you're a subscriber because we try to stop some of the lazy trolls. You mean membership? No, I'll benefit from membership. No, the money comes in. The reason that I don't make much money is that most of those members are South African members, and YouTube screws me. YouTube takes a very unfavorable exchange rate and they screw you. They take a huge percentage. They're like the money changers at the airport. And so let's say the rate is actually 19 to 1. They'll give you like 16.5 to 1. They'll convert the money to 16.51. They'll keep the 3.5 rand difference, and then they give you that, and then they take 30% of what's left. So they're just shysters when it comes to that. But yeah, but if you're in the U.S., there's no exchange rate. So all they take is the 30%. So if you're in the U.S. and you pay the master and commander rate of $15 a month to support the channel, then they take $5. I get $10. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, the Wyatt store. I got a store, but it sucks, and I need help on that. I need someone that knows what they're doing. Yeah, future members percent live chats. We tried that too. That doesn't work so great. What makes me love? You must be new to Leone, Funston. What makes me love Southern so much? I love America even more. I love life even more than that. And you know, even there's a lot of people are turds, I kind of love people more than that. It's a very long story, and at the end of a 2-hour broadcast, now's not the time to do it when I have to interview Dr. Mulder in a few hours. I have to go to bed and get up for that. But please tune in again and ask the question again earlier in the stream after the news or on a Night Owls earlier, and I'll address it. Basically, I started, and watch, I said I'm not going to answer, and here I go answering it. I started following Rhodesia, Mozambique, and Angola in the 1970s when I was a young kid. And I got fascinated in military history, so everything German history. I followed World War I, War II, latched on to Paul Leto von Voorbeck because I was interested in Africa. And then my interest grew from there. I was introduced to rugby as a freshman at university in 1982, fell in love with the game of rugby. There was no way to watch it. There was no way to do anything with it, so I became a fan. I was a history student, so I looked to see what countries had great histories of rugby, and I saw that South Africa was one of them. I had an interest in Africa, so I became a Springbok fan. Thank you, Mad Max, for 35 rand super chat. It just kind of grew from there. I could, Mad Max. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea, actually, a full-length documentary. Yeah, yeah. And what I can do is, what I got to do is I'll take the stuff we put together from all these different locations. So I've been to Idaho. I've got stuff from Idaho. I've been to Alabama. I've had refugees from South Carolina come up here. And now I'm ready to do the Texas thing. We can do this. So yeah, I can do a documentary on it. Absolutely. I really need a filmmaker like Juan Miller to help me with that. Juan Muller. Yeah. Maybe I'll pay him for that, you know. Yep. So. PayPal only takes 2 to 4%. Exactly. That's why I do the PayPal. Yeah. PayPal is much better. Yep. They take 2. And if it's dollars, they don't take anything. They don't take anything for dollars. Yep. They make it because they hold the money for a little bit, and they make the money overnight on the interest, the overnight interest on it. So with dollars, but they do take 2 to 4%. Used to not take anything, but they take something now. Yeah, that's why I have the PayPal. And I don't put it up much because it reminds me of the early days of Morning Shot when Roman used to put up his QR code. Remember that? That was funny. You sent me a situation. You can do a story on his Telegram on 2 December. You sent that to me in Telegram, Conrad? I haven't seen anything from you in Telegram. But I've got so many people that write to me in all these fake women accounts. Do you know how many Conrads I have listed here? No, you must use a different name. It doesn't show up here. I'm looking in Telegram now. I don't see anything. Conrad, send me a WhatsApp or a email. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, I never saw. If I saw it, I don't remember it. Okay, online store. That's great. Thank you for that. Black South African. Well, if it's Petrus or it's Kool-Aid or it's one of those guys, yeah. I mean, it's anybody sent it to meet and greet. Oh, okay. Well, modified intel. Okay. Well, I mean, you want to send the test one? Go ahead and send it. Let me log back in. I got logged out because it was too long. Ugh, another text code. You turds. I just was there. Why are you making me? Oh, jeez. That's why I hate some of these sites. I appreciate their safety features, but it gets old. If your phone gets stolen in South Africa, then you're screwed. You can't even get any of your accounts because of damn two-factor security. That's why I don't like it. Okay, I'm there. So I'm not sure what you want me to do. You've got the address. I'll put up one more time so you can send a test over it. Here's the PayPal address. Okay. Saw that comments in many channels are by blacks fed up with cancer. Where can I apply to help church services to work? You can't, Jan Milan. You can't. They don't hire people in South Africa. They hire people out of Kenya and the States. So, and I wouldn't work for Church World Services. I would not. They are doing what they have to do. They're not going above and beyond. RCS who works for them, whatever, those guys have worked really hard on your behalf. Yep. Hey, Car, have a good night. But you guys out west, man, it's only 10 o'clock. You probably go to work early, that's why. Can sell the documented media house for Moolah. Well, good luck with that. Oh, waiting for me to accept? Really? I don't have any message. Nope, I have no message here. Nothing here, man. No, I don't know. Okay, well, there's no waiting for me to accept. Let me see. Send request. No, that's just for me to send money. Activity, maybe under that. You'd think it'd just show up on top. Nope. Oh, it's by my email. Okay, all right. Well, that's different. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm not accustomed to getting that. Must be some feature. So, hang on. Now I got to log in Outlook. Syndica. Okay, I'm going in Outlook now. Okay, I want. I hate this focused. I want all other. $1:50 a.m. It's Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Nope, there's nothing there. Let me go to junk mail. Nope, nothing there. So I have all these messages in this account. I don't know where people do this. I said, don't send me messages here, and they continue to send it. Where's my damn rugby order? Your items have shipped. When did they ship? Shipped on the 28th December. Arriving the 5th of January to the 12th. They're not arriving anywhere. They're nowhere here. Let me see if I can click on this order. Huh. It says arriving on the 6th. Shipped. Liars. That says the 5th. Nothing has arrived. What do you mean? Huh. Doesn't give me a tracking. Doesn't give me a tracking thing. So if you order details. No, forget that. I'm not doing that. No, anyway, there's nothing there. I've got a World Rugby order. Anyway, no, there's nothing there. I went into my Outlook. I see nothing there about accepting anything. People keep sending me these cases. Quit sending me stuff to that account. It's just being ignored. People are hard-headed and stubborn. Nope. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Just don't send any money then, because I don't know what that is. Something's wrong. wmwchris@outlook.com. Yep. Well, I have several telegrams, but there's the one for the... What kind of telegram do you want, Jan Milan? Do you want it for the refugee thing where you can't comment, or do you want Chris White Africa? Has 580 members. Let's see. So we got the White Army, which only has 12 members. Chris White Africa, 580 members. Chris White Announcements that's probably the best one. That's 1,115. That's probably the one you want. And members invite via link. Copy a link. So that's this one here. It's Chris White Announcements in Telegram. Okay. Well, let me go back to my PayPal so I don't get logged out again. Click on something over there so I don't get logged out time-wise. Now PayPal's taking forever. Come on, man. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, there's that. All right, I'm going to turn that off now. My friend that I helped get further in the system when he wasn't getting feedback, I gave his info to RSC people at my second interview, and now his flight ticket, and we still don't. Well, yeah, that's crazy, Quids. That's crazy. What goals achieved, Mace? Yeah, so Yamalan, that's the one you probably want. Oh, Mad Max, that was frustrating. But my download, let's see what's going on with that. So upload, they were supposed to be here today too. I got to check on that. They were supposed to be here and they didn't show up. Yeah, my upload is not, or download is not what it's supposed to be. So where the heck is my, hang on a second here, home. Bill. Okay. So, come on. Comcast Xfinity. Okay, so 8 January. Okay, they're coming tomorrow morning. Okay, my bad. They're coming tomorrow morning. Yeah, between 8 and 10. Yeah, I only have 663. And now my upload is at 28, but I'm using 3 of that for this, so that makes sense. Okay, cool. All right, so I was mistaken. I thought they're supposed to come today. They're supposed to come tomorrow. But they're supposed to come and take a look at this still. But I mean, the upload was taken care of. That was the thing, was a problem. Oh, my goodness. How can I find if my case lost system? There's no way to find out. There's no way to find out. There's nothing lost in the system. There's numbers there. You guys, I don't think people understand the scope of this because you're focused on yourself, which is understandable. I understand it. You're focused on your issue, your problem. You want to get out. But you're not, you're losing complete focus. And we're talking about tens of thousands of people. You know, I mean, most of the stuff I get, honestly, I don't mean to insult people, but most of it's a waste of my time and it's a waste of your time. You're just getting yourself spun up into a thing, you know, for no reason. People freaking out. Well, I mean, I had a thing today where somebody said, yada, yada, yada. And I sent them a message. I said, basically, you are telling me that you got this on, the 9th of December, something like that. So basically, from the 9th of December now, that's been 7 work days. And you're like, I've been lost. I've been forgotten. No one's, they've neglected me. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, it's been 7 working days. 7 working days. First off, even if the raid on Woodmead never happened, that was the last day they were doing interviews, the 16th. The last time they were processing people to leave. They were still, RSC and Amerikaners were still doing things because they're in the background doing things. But the Americans weren't doing anything. They were all gone. All the people were sent over in temporary duty to South Africa for 3 months. They went home for Christmas. They weren't there. The people at USCIS that work in the States went home for Christmas X's. They weren't there. So there have been 7 working days. I don't think people think for a moment about, I'm not trying to, people take this the wrong way, but they don't think about this. There aren't many people working this program. And there's 100,000 people applying for it. No one's been lost. You may feel lost. It may be unfair, like we've heard here from Quids. Someone else got to go because I mentioned them. And that is unjust. And the people who got hung up, who didn't get to go when they had tickets already. And now I've got someone that has had their ticket canceled 3 times, including they were supposed to fly this week. Other people are supposed to fly. Also, there's other things about the program I've discovered, folks, but I'm not discovering it publicly. And I don't say this because people are like, oh, you know what you're talking about. You're just making stuff up. I'm not. I do know what I'm talking about. But some things, for instance, I do things that are preemptive. Sometimes of my own volition because my analytical skills come into play. Other times because I get a hint about something and then I run it down and I make a prediction. So, for instance, I did a video cautioning South Africans that you're not in South Africa. You cannot behave in the United States the way you behave in South Africa. So if you get a DUI, if you commit negligent homicide or vehicular manslaughter, if you get in a bar fight, if you assault a woman, or assault a man, you may find yourself in jail and or losing refugee status and deported back. I did that video because it was preemptive. And people are like, what are you doing here? Why are you calling South Africans evil? I didn't. I'm just trying to give you good advice. Anyway, must follow up with my super chat on your birthday. Spoke to NetBank. They have 48-hour delay to transfer the money. 48 hours, Karen. I mean, my birthday was a Christmas day, so they've had more than 48 hours. Mandy, you're welcome. Okay. How long have we gone? We're probably 2.5 hours. My goodness. Here I am at first if I'm in that queue, says Maze. Okay, Mari's B. Yeah, okay, you're very patient. In your case, I would be frustrated. But we have people that come on here and, guys, you have to erase everything before they contact you. That doesn't count. You're just at some queue somewhere. This UF number, or USC, or whatever the heck that number is, you're just there. You're a number. When they contact you and you communicate with them and they set up interviews, then starts your clock. Then your clock matters. That's when you can say, well, I've been waiting 3 months or I've been waiting 5 months. But nobody's waited 5 months after being contacted and after being given an interview. No one's waited 5 months. There are people who waited 3 months, and that's unfair. But I mean, the people in Kenya, again, not to bring it back to that, they've been waiting years. So, it's a matter of perspective. But you can't count. And Mari's B, I like your approach, and I empathize with you. But you can't say that I sent an email in March and I did the SOI. So that was March, May, and then I did the form in November, and I'm still waiting. Again, everything starts over. The difference is if you had already done the PRM email and the statement of interest, in theory, you're supposed to be bumped up in the queue. You're supposed to be further up because you've already expressed interest. And so the intake questionnaire is just a lot of things they would ask you at an interview. So it's just being done, a lot of the questions being answered in the interview. That's why when people want the questionnaire that we put together, these are the questions you might be asked in an interview that Hendo put together and I edited and we put out, which I was reticent to do. There's really no reason for that now because the questions we ask you are pretty much what's in the intake questionnaire. Yeah, 4 months since our follow-up. Now, see, Marley should be a little concerned. I mean, you should be concerned, but it's fair for you to be concerned, I should say. A lot of people are feeling entitled. That's right. My mom and I just want to have a nice early morning run, school and work without worrying about being attacked. I got you, Tyra. Well, I mean, look at the jogger that was murdered during the run there in Pretoria. Okay, confident my PayPal is being reloaded this time. Okay, let me go to my PayPal. Home. Yep, I got it. You sent me $1. $1. So I don't have to accept it. There's nothing for me to accept. It's done. And in my it says you sent me $1 and I got your real name. Your real name is Darius McGillicuddy. Yeah. That's Darius McGillicuddy has just sent me $1. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to out him. I'm going to dox him right now. Modified intel is Darius McGillicuddy. Okay? Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, if you're attacked, it's just crime unless you can specifically show that it was someone separated but not divorced. Again, stop sending email to this account. I mean, I don't know what to tell people here. I just cleaned this account out and sent a bunch of stuff myself on Christmas Eve from people over here, and we still got people sending the damn thing to the here. I don't understand why. That is not an email address to contact me for the 1 billionth time. No, I know it's a test. So, yeah, there you go. $1. All right, I got that. Anyway, so yeah, so you got that's the right place to send it. So, yeah, every week when you want to send $10,000, that's the place to send it, okay? Modified intel. Mid-August, and we're through the whole process, still waiting for flights. Yeah, see, Mostart family, that's, in your case, I empathize with you. And yesterday's videos, it finally got to 40,000. Is it bumping up? A little bit this morning, so hopefully it'll keep picking up. All right, so 40,000 on that one. It says views are up 93%. That's good. Or the process resource allocation need to be reviewed. Yeah, look, the problem is that there aren't enough people. You guys, this is another thing people forget. The State Department let go over 1,300 foreign service officers. 1,300. I know people in the State Department who are very frustrated by this. I've talked to people who are stationed overseas in embassies, and a lot of people got reduction in force statements, told they're fired from the State Department, and they had the misfortune of being in the States because that's where the reductions took place. They didn't reduce anybody to overseas missions. So I know of a couple cases of Foreign Service officers who were stationed in embassy in Africa and in Europe. They had just moved back to D.C., just gotten a place to live in, just started working there, and they got immediate reduction of force. You're fired. Their colleagues with the same level of experience working overseas didn't get fired. It's just the luck of the draw. That's a tough world to live in. You keep saying people after you, Quids, but I have no evidence of people after you. I mean, it's except for a few priority cases. I have no evidence of people after you going. That's a wives' tale. I'm not buying that until I have evidence of it. People keep talking out their ass in these WhatsApp groups and these Telegram groups, and I would stay away from it. But yes, the whole thing is all screwed up. It's all screwed up. I would run this program completely different. I've been very critical of the program. I've told you about that. I'm not critical of RSC, RCS, whatever, RSC. Those guys have been working their ass off. Yep. Petersburg, Virginia, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, exactly. Continue your life until you're on the plane. Yep. Yep, Anthony, I think we're all afraid and insecure. We do appreciate the process. Work as people do. The process in the country brings nothing but fear to us. Yeah, exactly. But look, I mean, I'm aware of several cases of people just being little children, petulant children. Yeah, that's it. Screw you and your refugee program. Fuck you. I don't want out of this. I want out. It's been more than one person have done that. Well, false hope. False hope? Okay, well, now you're out of the refugee program. What do you got now? What do you got now? Act like a child and you get treated like a child. You're out of the program. This is not directed at any of my viewers. Nobody in the chat. This is not directed at you. This is a comment for people who've done that. There have been a few people. They've written to RSC and they've written Americana saying, fine, stay in South Africa. I didn't ask you to come here. You want to look a gift horse to the mouth? You want to be disrespectful and rude to us when we're bending over backwards, taking money from one program to another, robbing Peter to pay Paul to get your ass out of South Africa, and because you had to wait 2 or 3 months, your feelings are hurt? So how do you feel about the government of South Africa? How do you feel about when you go to Home Affairs? How do you feel about when you get pulled over by a cop for a ticket and a bribe? How do you feel when you don't get the service, when your home is broken to? Who are you going to complain to then? I mean, there are some truly entitled people, and you know what? I have no empathy for those people. None whatsoever. You want out of the program. Good. Get out of the program. Someone else will go in your stead. Someone else will go in your stead. Exactly, Stella. Once your system, your interview's done, just be patient. Yeah. What is Quids? It's been 4 months since we finished everything. People after us got tickets to fly, so how's that happening? Well, I don't know what's happening. I know a couple people had very priority cases, and trust me, these were priority cases. Absolutely horrific things done to people. And recently. And that's why they got out of there, because they would have been killed. Yeah, well, medic, you're in the queue. You're in the queue. See, the problem with this is the government doesn't release the data. If you knew that there were 27,000 people screened, approved, and waiting to fly, let's just, I don't know, I'm just picking that number out of the air, okay? Let's pretend there's 27,000. It isn't that many. Let's go with 8,000, okay? Let's say there's 8,000 people waiting. 8,000 people at 35 people per day. And see, this is where, look, I'm not picking on people, but people will take it this way. And if you take it that way, then you're not listening. But you have to address this from a perspective of what's going on. 8,000 people. 8,000 people. 35 people per day have been coming over in December. 8,000 divided by 35 people per day. That's 228 days to clear that list at that pace. 228 days divided by 30 days. That is 228 divided by 30 days. That's 7.6 months. That's 7.5 months to clear a backlog if it's only 8,000. What if it's 27,000? This is why the pace is picking up. This is why more and more people are coming. And all those flights have to be booked. Someone has to do that. Someone has to coordinate all that. So this, I got a letter and I've been approved in September, October, November, December. I appreciate that. I empathize with you. But you are not being realistic. You're not paying attention to what's going on. And also in the midst of, we have people who are being sexually assaulted, who are being disfigured, who are being attempted murder, who are being shot, who are being stabbed in a racial attack, and they've gotten prioritized because it's happened recently. So, guys, I don't think people think this through. Okay? Interviews and medicals in October and patients, says Christy. Yep, I'm with you, Christy. That's why I told people all along, you continue with your life. You act as if you haven't even applied for the program. Other than, getting rid of superfluous things in your house, junk you don't need, get rid of things if you've got, things you don't need, and make a plan. Start planning on how you're going to manage your finances, how you're going to get finance over there. Create a PayPal account, get a Captech account, get this all sorted, get everything in order. That's what I say. Oh, Marley, I mean, it's thousands, tens of thousands of messages I get. Caravan's in a relatively safe suburb thinks it may have been lulled into a sense of false security. They are going to be blindsided. Yep. Dan Bongino. Yes, they actually did, Loretta. Interviews, medicals, okay. Francois, morning, be patient, be grateful. Thank you for the 40 Rand, Francois. Clouds are gathering. I think EFF and ANC had their way. All of us would be killed. Yep, President Trump saw that. We are so grateful. Yep. That's a lot of people. Yep. Exactly. Thank you, Christopher Nardo. That's a very balanced and reasonable thought that you put there. There are many variables in every case. Where they go, refugee assistance, availability, your profession, the size of your family, the quality of the refugee agencies going in. That's why some people are falling through the cracks. Process might not make sense to people, but shouldn't those who have substantial physical threats take preference before something horrible happens? Not necessarily. Future looks bright. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. How long do you think this program will be open for? 3 more years, easily. Trump is president for 3 more years. Morning, you are up late. Patience is a virtue. You are not owed anything. If you're selected, you're lucky, and thank God for your blessings. Hey, MK and Tears, what's going on? Needs to be fast-tracked. It's Dante van Wyk. Exactly. Dante van Wyk's life is in jeopardy, his threat. Yep. And he is still in South Africa. Yep. Half PayPal for meet and greet, half to spoil yourself. Okay, modified intel. Let me go take a look before you run off. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Modified intel just gave me a $25,000 super chat. Just kidding. I wish it was $25,000. But it was very substantial. It was very nice. You think Greenland shouldn't be touched? Where did that come from? Who's talking about Greenland, man? You must be at the beginning of the chat. All right, Quids, you have evidence of someone. Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. You've just stated you've got someone. Well, I mean, I don't know that person's case. But here, let me just put it this way for you, Quids. Okay, so you feel cheated. You think it's unfair. You have a right to feel that way. So what now? We can sit around and wallow and be angry and complain about it, but what's that going to do? Just going to make you unhappy. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Send me your case number. Send me the name of the primary applicant. I'll see if I can't research it. That's all I can do. But I can't do that for everybody. Grab a McThankful. Remember, there is much due diligence to be and don't lie. Exactly. Do not lie. Thank you for the clouds gathering, Francois. Yeah, did you guys fall for that when I said he gave me 25,000 super chat into PayPal? If only. It's not. Okay. Joe Niemann is here. Oh, my goodness. Joe Niemann. Good Lord. What's going on, man? Wait. That's not Joe Niemann, the pilot, is it? No, that's the other Joe. Okay. State's got any plans to give Ramaphosa? No, I have no idea. No, Marley Quinn. Don't assume that I said there were a couple cases that got elevated. It doesn't mean if you're in severe danger. Look at Dante van Wyk. He hasn't left South Africa. He's still trapped there. And his life is genuinely in threat. I mean, they've said they want to kill him. They've been hunting for him. He's had to move from place to place. I mean, that's pretty severe, and he's not out yet. Okay. Yeah, that's funny, Krista. When the trolls accuse me of doing it for the money, my listeners, super chats, and PayPal grows. Who's laughing now? It is Joe Niemeyer, the pilot. Well, it's about damn time. Where you been flying, man? What's going on? We've had Arctic. Oh, Arctic is on vacation tonight. Hey, CB, what's going on? Well, Joe is subscribed. You couldn't chat unless you're subscribed. All right, man. You're the pilot. That's good to see. Missed you, man. Missed you. It's been a while. I don't know what you've been doing. Screwing off. You know, when people disappear, I get worried. No, that was a really nice super chat. For those, I think if you're still here, Modified Intel, I'm going to tell people what the super chat was, okay? If you're curious. If you're curious. I mean, can I do that? Are you still here? I'm going to do it anyway. YouTube millionaire much? No. Millionaire. We got a long way to go before we get millionaire. Play us a song. You want a song? Okay, sure. All right. Yeah, but then people are going to leave on me. People will leave. They'll all leave. All right, we're going to play a song. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, which one should I play? I do like the, let me go to Suno and look and see. You guys want a song? Okay, you want a song. Salty Cracker. I got an email from him. Vegas Gold Knights post-game wrap-up. What did they do? They won. Yay. They beat the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, so let me get to Suno. Here's Suno. Let me see what we got here. Okay, let me go to library. Okay. I like that Afrikaans, the raid on one meat. You do the raid on one meat? Oops, CNC did again. Working without compensation. ANC has foot and mouth troubles. That's why I like that one. Here, let's do that one. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Way down south.
Well, down south, they're stirring up a shiny new mess. Spilling verbal diarrhea, putting diplomacy to the test.
Yes, lots of people are doing background checks, not one person.
Yeah, they're poking at DC, trying to make the Eagle mad.
Hey, Beth Frazier, where the hell have you been?
Playground bully is the best friend they ever had.
Then Ron Mueller steps up, adjusting his tie, says, we don't need the USA, we'll let the Donald fly on by. He says we'll go our own way, we don't need a stamp of grace. While he's slamming every door right in his own face. Oh, the ANC is foot and mouth troubles, talking loud and proud, while the misery doubles, thinking they're a heavyweight, throwing punches in the dark, but they're biting off a whole lot more than they can bar. Yeah, the times are getting tough and the road is getting rough, cause the ANC has foot and mouth troubles. He thinks the world is living in a hazy dream.
Careful down there.
But nobody's carrying water for a failing scheme. Marco Rubio stood up and he turned on the light. Expose the race-baiting efforts and the fuss and the fight.
You can't sway the big players with a cheap magic trick.
When the global scene is moving, yeah, it moves pretty quick.
You delude yourself thinking that you hold all the cards.
Now you're standing all alone in your own backyard. Oh, the ANC has foot and mouth troubles, talking loud and proud, while the misery doubles, thinking they're a heavyweight, throwing punches in the dark, but they're biting off a whole lot more than they can bark. Yeah, the times are getting tough and the road is getting rough, cause the ANC has foot and mouth troubles.
It's embarrassing for Cyril,
yeah, stings a little bit.
He went down to the G20
looking for a place to sit,
but the nameplate was changed.
Yeah, the story is cold.
He's been replaced by Poland, or so we are.
It's been replaced by Poland. The nameplate changed. It was embarrassing for Cyril. He went down, and the nameplate's been replaced by Poland.
Now the sun is going down on the yellow, green, and black.
And there ain't no use in trying to take the insults back.
No mas, no joy at Luthula House tonight.
No sway on the stage and not a friend inside.
Just foot and mouth troubles.
Bless their hearts.
Oh, the ANC is foot and mouth troubles, talking loud and proud, while the misery doubles, thinking they're a heavyweight, throwing punches in the dark, but they're biting off a whole lot more than they can bark.
Nancy has foot mouth troubles. And see, we lost 17 people. I told you people leave when we play music. JoJo Music, thank you for your membership. Okay, at least we've had some form of contact. Be grateful and wait, Sammy. ICE is cleaning Music City up. I hope so. I hope so, Beth. Sally fell for something. What was it? Somebody asked a question. Okay, RVC says, sorry for asking, Chris, what do you think of the Republican that died? 5 seats are now open. What will happen to those seats? Well, I don't know what the current majority is. As long as they have the 218, it's okay. I think they're down to 218. As long as they can't be outvoted by the Democrats, nothing will happen. But those seats have to be filled. There'll be special elections for them. So, yep. And from the background checks, just need to dig around. And it was just understanding that's why the process does take time. No, Pat Meister, I made a video of that in February. I said explained how the background checks work. The vetting for refugees is more intense than for anyone except for people with top secret military clearances. Yeah, it's quite extensive. As the Stoltz family told you, as other people have come out here told you, you'll be shocked when you find out what they know about you and they ask. So if you neglect to tell them something that's germane or that is negative, derogatory information about you, you're going to be denied. Supposedly, I have a couple people that have been denied, but I haven't been able to verify that yet, so I don't know if it's true. Yep. Worse is that my family myself immigrated a long way. 2 of my children have to use the refugee way because they aged out. Stop complaining. Hey, Legal Amy. Renew my membership. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you for that. But you must have been offline for a while. We need a music video for this song. Okay. Breakfast time for the Gemini, Jupiter. That's your cats. Sorry, lost it there with Quids. That's okay, Legal Amy. I don't know what Quids said last. I said send me a message. It went from 218 to 213 now. It's 295. How are your first? Okay, yeah, it's 295 people currently watching the program. But for Night Owls, we've done very well. Thank you. And thank you to Modified Intel who sent that super chat over. I'll use that money for the flight. Yep. And criminal record's a problem. Yes and no, Francois. I've covered this. The fact that you have a criminal record doesn't mean you're a criminal. Does that make sense? A malicious government may prosecute you. People may take a plea bargain to avoid long-term jail sentence for a crime they didn't commit. That's what adjudicators are for. So we look at a whole of person concept. When a person comes and you have a pile of information, here's the records that come in. Okay, so these are all the documents and digital these days. But it's okay. I'm looking at this. It says you were convicted of treason in South Africa, and you were accused of being a member of the Boermag. But you took a plea bargain, and I'm looking at the evidence that was compiled against you by the state prosecutor, and there's no evidence that you were ever in the Boermag. So why did you take the plea bargain? Because I was 19 and they threatened me with life imprisonment and I was terrified and I didn't have a lawyer. I couldn't afford one. And I didn't do anything with the Boermag. I just went to a meeting when they first started and it didn't interest me and I left. And I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in jail. So I took a 3-year jail sentence. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. We investigate it further. If we find merit to what you say, then yeah, you didn't commit treason. You were railroaded. Having a criminal record isn't necessarily a bar to coming. Having served in the military or in special branch or the police isn't a bar to coming. It has to be explained. If you've committed human rights abuse, if you have a criminal record, if you have a pattern of criminal behavior, then you've got a problem. All right. If you have a history of spousal abuse and alcoholism, and drunk driving charges and convictions and vehicular homicide, you're not coming. Thank you, Des. Thank you. I'm patient since we've done all up to 4th November. Still nothing. Never heard from them. Okay, that gets frustrating. Yeah, the PRM email, the statement of interest, and the intake questionnaire. Okay, Marley, legal alien, Quids, stop, guys. Just stop, okay? I mean, there's no value here in bickering, okay? All right? Injections work, Chris. Hope it goes well. Thank you, Anita. Okay. They must just be transparent. Agreed. They must be. Exactly. And I've told people from the very beginning, what have I said since February 7th when I went live, the night that Trump announces, what a night that was, 38,000 people watched that live stream. I said, you have to be honest. You have to be forthright. You have to tell them, do not lie. Lying will screw you. You will be harmed badly by it. Yeah, so that's what I said from the outset. I said in the very, very beginning. That's what I said. And some people listened, some people didn't. Yep. And look, at some point, my empathy disappears for people who have been interviewed, and then 7 days later they're like, oh, well, I haven't been contacted. Well, okay, sorry, but that's just unrealistic. Loretta's waiting since November, yep. But let's okay, for not Loretta, but you mentioned November, Loretta, so let's put this in context, okay? So let's put this in context, folks. What happened from 1 October until 13 November? What happened? A government shutdown. And in effect, for the refugee program, it started on the 26th of September when people stopped flying. 26th September, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 5 days in September, 31 days in October, that's 36 days, and then 13 days in November, that's 49 days. So you have to subtract 49 days from your calendar because they didn't even count. Then you have to go, okay, it all started again on the 14th of November, and people started coming on the 17th. We can start from the 14th, that's when they start working. So from the 15th of November, 14th, so you got around 17 days in November, 16, 17, 15 days. 15 days in November, okay? So you got 15 they worked. Then they worked for 17 days in December. 16, really. People flew over 16. 16, and they had 31 days. So that means they didn't work for 2 weeks in December. So you've got 49 days in September and October, another 14 days, that's 59, 63 days. That's 2 months. Since October, 2 months they haven't worked. You guys don't have a realistic expectation of what's going on here. For 2 months, they haven't been there doing it. No one's answering the phone. Hello? McFly? Hello, McFly? No one's been there for 2 months. So if you got approved in October, you got approved in November, December, if you think you're coming over here now with a queue of people out there, come on, you got to frame your expectations here, guys. St. Petersburg, never been, Eugene. Never been. It looks beautiful. Never been. No, Marley. It's okay. You don't have to apologize for anything. Just relax. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. But there's no value. It's no value. And it's like I said to Quids earlier. Okay, so you're frustrated that someone that you know came over already. And you're taking your frustration out here. Okay, fair enough. But that's not going to change anything. Yep, got to go soon. So do I, man. King's getting a cow for his wife. Oh, if you're a Sightlander, you better tell people that. You better tell them that in your interview. Yeah. You better tell them you're part of Sightlanders. Doesn't mean you won't come over, but you better tell them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Dr. Mulder. I've interviewed him several times. Oh my goodness, Blue Flame. That's horrible to hear. Blue Flame, contact me. Send me an email. One of the mods put the email up there. And make sure you tell me your Blue Flame and your real name in the email, okay? And a way to get in touch with you. And tell me where you're at. And I'll see if I can get someone in the White Army to find something better than a tent for you. Okay? Yeah. It's like foot and mouth disease. Yeah, no, it's as I told people, I mean, this program will destroy families. There will be people who break up over this. There'll be divorces. There'll be people who leave family members behind. Others won't go. It will also show who the true patriots to South Africa are, the Ferrayas who betray their own people. Yep, whether you're colored, Indian, or white, the people who betray you. I know of a family where the brother lost his job because a sibling is a spiteful turd and told the brother's employer that he was applying for the program. So the person fired him from the job. That was like 7 months ago. So they've been without a job for 7 months because of their angry, spiteful sibling. That's terrible. That's why I said keep this to yourself. Patience is a virtue. Last year, this time, nothing of this existed. Exactly. That's what I've been saying for the entire year, RBC. Nothing existed. Also, let me put these up real quick before I go. For those who didn't watch my video, because not a lot of people did watch my video that I did this on. So let me put these up. I'm going to cover this real quick. This is important. So here we go. Oh, come on. YouTube is my computer. There we go. So this is important to show this, okay? All right. So I got 4 of these images I got to go through. Oh, no. Wait a second, is that? Hang on a second. Oh, I got the same one twice. Okay, I don't need that one then. Get rid of that one. Okay, so here we go. So this is important. So this is, okay, look, this is supposed to be a refugee thing, but it's night out, so we do indulge that. Arctic's not here, so you can't complain about it. Oh, Karen, okay. Oh, I'm glad I took a moment to ingest that if the crap hits the fan. I thought you were saying shut the F up. I'm not frustrated on your channel. I'm frustrated that you just said people have it bad, so they've been shot and stabbed, and that's why they're priorities. Okay, you are not listening. Okay, now, Quids, you need to listen. All right, this is directed. You need to listen. I said crime is not a basis for it. Crime is not a basis for FT status. You're not coming to America if you've been a victim of crime. If you have been a victim of crime motivated by racial animus, if it's racially motivated, I can point to a person who was horribly harmed by racial animus. And it was clear based on the way they acted, the way they behaved. And there are black witnesses who were present who saw this happen, who were helpless to stop it from happening. Racial animus. It has to be racial based. You are not listening. You're hearing what you want to hear. Now I'm getting frustrated with you. Do not hear what you want to hear. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. I'm not speaking Mandarin. I'm not speaking Farsi. I'm being very clear here. Crime is not the basis to come over here. We have criminals over here. People are victims of crime over here. Horrible crime. Fortunately, not nearly the way it is in South Africa. It's rare. Being a victim of crime is not a basis for FT status. Don't go into an interview and go, I was broken into, my home was broken into, I was robbed. You can tell them that. But if it's not racially motivated, that's not going to be enough to get you here. Okay, yours was racially motivated. Then what are you upset about? What are you confused? Why are you telling people that I said one thing and I said something else? I never did that. The only thing I didn't change the story here is I said there were some people who were prioritized because horrific things had just happened to them recently. That's a true statement. I'm not going to lie to you. And other people had just as bad things happen. But there are so many cases. Please hear what I'm saying. Don't hear what you want to hear. Crime is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. If it's racially motivated, it is sufficient, okay? Okay, there you go. Oh, you guys tell me Deborah again. You're way behind the chat there. Anita, let me just very clearly tell you very quickly, Anita, because you're here on the channel a lot. If you submitted a statement of interest, you didn't submit an application. You stated a statement of interest. It's not an application. Disavow yourself. Get that out of your head. It's not an application. The closest thing to an application is the intake questionnaire. And as I've said repeatedly since the 4th of November, if you have not done the intake questionnaire, you will never be called. Anita Herbla, if you have not gone and done the intake questionnaire on the U.S. Embassy website, which has been published since the 4th of November, you will never be called. Please go and fill it out. Okay, so Quids is leaving now. All right, look, I can't help people if they want to hear what they want to hear. But I'm not going to sit here and let people say that I said something I didn't say. All right? Whatever. I'm tired of the whining. I'm trying to help people here, and this is abuse. Okay. I mean, how many times do I have to say things clearly? Yeah, exactly. There's no pleasing some people. Whatever. Bye. Whatever. I don't know what to tell you. At some point, people are just being difficult for being difficult. I don't know. Okay, so this is what matters. This is what I was trying to get to before we got into that, okay? So somebody's feelings hurt, so they're going to leave. Whatever. I can't help you. It's 1 o'clock in the freaking morning. It's not coming across wrong. I said it clearly. I said it very clearly, Marley. So it's not coming across wrong. The vast majority of the almost 300 people here understood what I said. Okay, Quids, I told you to send me an email. Please send me an email. I know that. And how many times have I said in the past 6 years? Chat is not ideal. You get limited on the characters. Also, people aren't speaking their first language many times. I get that. Ja, wenn ich auf Deutsch alles erkläre im Chat müssen, das wäre nicht einfach für mich. Es ist schon lange Zeit, ich auf Deutsch geschrieben habe. Schon lange. Jahrelange Zeit, ich auf Deutsch geschrieben habe. Ja? Okay? All right. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Okay, Quids, everybody. Marley, Legal Alien, everybody. Okay? Anita, please listen to me. Go do the intake questionnaire. If you haven't done it, please do it. Okay, here we go. Please listen. This is what I want to get across. Thank you, Maze. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, hang on. All right, South African refugee arrivals in the USA, fiscal year 25-26. Remember that our fiscal year runs from 1 October to 30 September. So this program, the first people came over May 12th. That was a pilot program. From May 12th until the end of September, the end of fiscal year, remember they stopped flying people on the 26th. 335 South Africans came over, okay? All right, cool. Okay, good, Anita. Great. All right. Thank you. I'm glad you did. Okay, cool. An email. Okay, she sent me 2 emails. Okay, Quiz, you're funny. You sent me 2 emails. Thank you. All right. Thank you. But Quids, I don't know what your username is, so you're going to have to put it in the address line. Tell me it's Quids, okay? If I've responded to you before, I apologize, but it's late night. Okay, so 335. November, there was a lockdown, or not a lockdown, a shutdown from the 1st of October until the 14th or 13th of November, whatever it was. So we started sending people back over, I think, on the 17th. So for like 2 weeks. That's 125 people came in that time frame. In December, which is only the 1st to the 17th, 595 came over for a total of 1,055. Here we go. All right. So there we go. Let me break it down. May 12th, the pilot program, 59 South Africans arrived. Okay. May 13th to September 25th, when the shutdown, it was 136 days. In 136 days, 276 South Africans came over, plus the 59. November 17th is when they started arriving again. For November, 125. December, 17 days. Look at that. November 17th was just 2 weeks, 125. 3 days longer, and it was triple that, quadruple that. Came in December, okay? All right, so 595. Okay. And now, so the South African refugee totals. If you take the average number of South Africans arrived from the 13th of May, you have to take out the 12th. It was a pilot project. That was a test program, a proof of concept. The 59ers don't count. They count in the total, but they don't count for the average arrivals because you can't average that, okay? So from the next day, the 13th of May, when nobody came, the 14th, nobody came, 15th. From then until the end of September, or September 25th, an average of 2 people per day came over. 2 people per day. From the November 1st to the 17th, because nobody came on the 1st. Actually, that chart's bad. I got to fix that. Yeah, that's wrong. That's just saying November 17th to the 30th. That's wrong. I realized I got that wrong. 8 per day. I need to fix that. The typo. It's a typo. But that period from November 17th to the 30th was 8 people per day. December 1st to the 17th, it's 35 per day. That number is now being blown out of the water. The number of people came over, folks, on the 5th of January was more than 35. And it's going up and up and up, okay? So, yes, Justin, there are a lot of people being vetted and processed with budget cuts, with staff cuts, yep. I really work from my heart for my super chats. Yeah, thank you, Mad Max. Program is going to accelerate to the extent that we're going to run around like crazy. Exactly. You're right, Monster Max. Thanks, Madeline. Take care. As a white South African female, I survived 100 mugging attacks, but thought it was just life. Now I see I'm definitely being targeted and others around me getting racial persecution. Karen, I'm with you on that. Yeah, no, that's what I've told South Africans. You guys have post-traumatic stress disorder. Almost every South African I've ever met. You are inured to violence. RC called me 16 December, told me we can expect email in the year. Till now, still nothing, but here we are. All right, Road Captain Kev. Well, bear in mind that if the emails come from USCS 16 November, they started working on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been 3 days. So, yeah. Can see people complaining that they did not call, but once they receive the processing speed up, they probably complain it's too quick. You're right about that, Fred. There's a lot of that goes on, too. You are right about that. And a lot of refugees have been interviewed. They said the same thing. It goes fast. That's why I'm telling you, Quids, not to stop chatting about this and send an email, please, okay? Okay. Without you and me, nephew, I wouldn't be in the program. All right, thank you, Twinkle Toes. Thank you, Anita. Okay. Okay, you're not protected by your government. Can see people complain they're not called once they receive the. Okay. Have you sent an extremely urgent? Okay, which says it all eye-opening, terrifying. Okay, thank you, Joe. Let me look at that really quickly here before we go away, before I go to bed. Remember, folks, I've got to be up in about 5 hours to interview. Okay, got it. Reasons. Okay, got it. I see yours. Okay, great, Joe. I didn't know you knew that person. This is too long for me to read right now. It's way too long. But it says Sam. I'm guessing you sent that to someone else. You sent me an email you sent to someone else. All right. Yeah, so that's a very good human being that you know and a dear friend of mine, and I'm sure he'll help you, and that's great for that. Okay, I'll read your email later on. That's a bit much to digest at the moment. In fact, let me just print it out now. I usually do that printout, so I put priority for things to read. 4 pages, good Lord. Okay, there you go. I'll just print out 3. Custom print 1 of 3. I think I have paper left to print out so many emails the past week. Doesn't sound like I have paper left. Nope, I'm out of paper. Damn it. Hang on. I'm out of paper. Ah! All right, so I have emails I printed out earlier, and without revealing who they are, where's my damn software? There it is. Okay, Hetty McCarthy, thank you for 28 super, and I didn't see that. Is my alert box on? It is. I didn't hear that. Okay, so got it. That's your email. Okay, this one's from earlier. Please help. Advice needed. 2 pages long. Attachments. Possible rejected applicants. This is from someone. Thank you. Successful refugee placement. Okay, flying out blank date. And then my credit card payment for paying for my orthopedic appointment. That's a receipt. Yeah, so yeah, I was out of paper. By the way, over by my printer, check out these. You know, I like to collect pins. These are Starbucks Christmas pins. Even though I haven't had a Starbucks since November 4th. Okay, Joe. Okay, program is definitely speeding up. Yep. Thank you for the super Hetty McCarthy super sticker, and then Francois, thank you for your patience. I try. Yeah, people colonel's not your punching bag, just gets frustrated. Well, that's how people treat it. It's you know, I think it's because PTSD that people have difficulty being patient. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Yep. Hasiki just parked at work. Okay. It's Tokolosh here. Got to go to work. Okay, just have shouted at garden service to use my route as a thoroughfare. Gotcha. Okay, sent you a short email. I can't forward the messages, video and audio from Telegram. I sent you an email. Okay, Conrad, that should be fine for me to find then. Okay, inbox. Got it. Okay, that helps me. Thank you, Conrad. That that's okay. Oh, okay, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It's Conrad. Okay, so that's why I probably typed it wrong in Telegram. Okay, let me see. Paste. Oh, got it, man. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. No, I didn't see that. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't think I've seen your Telegram stuff since like December. Apologies for that, Conrad. My apologies. All right, cool. All right. I should keep the paper next to the copier. Well, Philip, my printer sits on a little table here. A table you put in the dining room, like a little fold-out table. I mean, this is a dining room table. If I get like some more super chats, like Modified Intel sent tonight, I get 5 or 6 more of those. I'll buy proper studio equipment. I mean, this is this is all out of my pocket here. So the studio lights I bought, the computer I had custom made. I had a lot of trouble with it. Now it's working fine again, and the internet's working fine. But all this stuff is stuff I bought. The bookshelves back there I didn't have. I bought it for the studio. Everything in here was custom built that you see on air, except for some of my trinkets and gifts and things. But all the stuff. The equipment was all bought for this, including the bust of George Washington that was bought just for this show. Anyway. Okay. Agree, we have to stay positive and be really grateful. Cool. Thank you, Philip. Ron, Ref Rugby, what's going on, man? Super Dave, a few people have been getting and trying to get the collection together for me, and they're trying to get it to Ronaldo for me. So I think one person has the complete set now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate it. It's very kind of people to do it. Look, again, I talked about this like an hour and a half ago. I'm so humbled by people. It really is awesome. Bert the Bison, yeah, he's back there. I bought him. Ouch, ow, that elbow. Damn it, that elbow hurts. Yes, it's Bert the Bison back there. Yep, I got him in Wyoming. Yep. Money for a table. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I need one of those Brogdon-Nabian desk, one of those just massive things. That's what I need. George Washington. Yep, that's George Washington. He's backlit. I got a light behind him, so you can see it when I turn the. Natalie, could you dim the lights, please? Thank you. See, he's got a backlit. I got a backlight behind him. So thank you, Natalie. Dim the lights. My favorite president, at the time when I was a young man, I thought George Bush Sr. was my favorite president. But in retrospect, I really did like Reagan a lot. And George Washington had been my favorite president prior to that. But Trump in 2025 has become my favorite president. I have to go and listen to the background, though. Okay, no, I got to go, too. I need some sleep. Marley, you're very welcome. And Quids, you're very welcome. And Legal Alien, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. All right, I really do need to go. But the other video, the one I did yesterday, is approaching 40,000. Did it make it? Let me see, 39,600. Let me see. Come on. Are you close? Come on, 40,500. So it's getting there. But it would have been nice if it was 100,000. Yeah, proper desk, a Brogdon-Nabian desk like Rajesh had in Sheldon's office would be great. Thank you, guys. I got to get something to eat, too. My head's bothering me, so proper desk will be fancy. Okay. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the viewership. Thanks for raising your questions. Folks, all I can offer to people is just be patient, okay? Just be patient. I mean, there's nothing you can do. If you've done what they've asked of you, if you've filled out the information, you've responded, you've gone to the interviews. I mean, look, I'm taking all kinds of abuse in this thing for, like, I don't have money to get a passport, to I don't have money to go to Pretoria, to I can't afford to do this, to why am I waiting so long? Why haven't they called me? Guys, I don't run the program. I just analyze it for you, and I'm a sounding board for you in many respects. But come on, you gotta have realistic expectations. I don't think people realize, like I just said, I just worked through how many days they weren't available. Since October, 2 months. In October, November, December. It's 3 months. 2 of the 3 months, they weren't even working. You're not going to get anything in this 2 to 3 months. But to be fair, people were still called by RSC. They still did the preliminary stuff. They still set things up. Yep. Monster Max 40 Rand. Thank you for that. Okay. You guys are all very welcome. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Have a lovely day. And this has been a long one, man. This is 3 hours. My goodness. I wouldn't expect it this long. 1 o'clock. Time for bed. All right, guys. Be well. And I'll catch you later today. Well, I can blame them for being abusive towards me. Absolutely. Being rude and disrespectful and abusive towards me and blaming me. I can blame people for that. I mean, I don't have to do this. We could simply go back to just, having fun. But I've been here for 3 hours and 15 minutes tonight. So, yeah, I can blame people. You can say, maybe I should understand. And I do. I do understand. Thank you, Philip Holtz. Thank you for the super chat. All right, knee after live from Renell. All right, but put your username in there so I know it's you, okay? Just put it in the, if you guys put the username in the title or the subject of emails, that helps me out, okay? All right. Yeah, well, I got to get some sleep or it's going to be a terrible interview. I won't do a good job. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here, and be well. We'll catch you. My eyes bother me. Yeah, this right eye. It's a little better now, but it's been bothering me all day. I don't know why. All right. Maybe I'm just falling apart, Maybe Ronaldo's right. Maybe I'm old. Good night, everybody. God bless. Cheers.